cuffs are off, man. Get right. Too many left in these leagues, but I ain't gonna leave. I'ma get right. Get right. Down to the bottom and scratch it for all the.
Hey everybody, Adam Rank here.
What's up, everybody? It's Marcus Grant.
This is AJ Dillon of the Green Bay Packers.
I got to give a shout out to y'all at Get Right Fantasy.
If you are not subscribed, what are you waiting for? Do you want to lose your league?
Our league. Check out the Get Right Fantasy Network.
You got to get right with the Get Right Fantasy Network.
And best of luck with your podcast. Appreciate the support.
And you're tuned in to watch my boys at Get Right Fantasy Network. Get you right. Enjoy the show.
But I tune in every Friday. Strategies provided, I will lock in every way. So go and roll your sleeves up. Yeah, go roll your sleeves up. And I'm getting down cause I roll my sleeves up. And I'm getting right cause I roll my sleeves up.
You do it, because I don't know how my mic sounds.
What up, world? Thank you for showing up again. This is Get Right Fantasy Network right here. This is Fish and Frank right here with your boy Ant, who again is having a little bit of microphone trouble, but he should be fine. We'll be all right. So tonight we're getting into, well, you want to say hi at least? Should I cut you off?
I mean, yeah, I kind of. Like, I'm so bummed out. I bought new cords. I bought new headphones. Like, I bought everything but a new mic, and apparently we're still having the same issue. So, chat, let me know if it's bearable. If it's not bearable, I'll just sit back and produce this thing. But, if it's decent, let me know, and I'll try to contribute to the show.
Yeah. Let us know. Roll's in here. He said he's just back from the slammer.
Oh, man. It's like that, huh? That's all right. We know a couple people like that.
Sean said terrible.
Oh, see, that makes me feel bad. But thanks for letting me know. Thanks for letting me know.
I was trying to tell him. I was like, it's kind of rough, man. We'll see. We'll keep the show going. Keep the answers short, basically. So tonight's show right now, we're doing the buy low, sell high roster management show. It's Thursday night football sit start. When we get to that point, we're doing injury news and updates. We're talking trade philosophy, a segment with tips on and trade philosophy and tips segment. Today's topic will be discussing buying high and selling low, which we
No, that's not it, actually. That was last week. I didn't change it in the rundown.
We forgot to change it. So
the new question's down there.
Find the do buy low, sell high. Or we're going to do top three trade targets, buy and sell, quick trades, so buy, sell, hold on position, and of course the live Q&A after the just a regular portion of the show. Again, we do have super chats, so if you want to get your question read right away, not wait for the Q&A part, and or if you just want to support the show, please do use the super chats. We do appreciate that. So tonight here, I just want to give you the guys the quickly rundown here for the Get Right Fantasy Network channel. Currently, we're doing Mondays. We're doing the Overreaction Mondays with top waiver wire ads. On Tuesdays, we got a Tycoon hosting the Fantasy Boardroom. Wednesdays, which is tonight, we're doing the roster management trade targets, buy, sell, trade. Thursdays, we do Phil Ruskin with the extra point leading up to Thursday night football. Fridays, we got two shows for you at 6 and 8 p.m. Part 1 and 2 of the must start, sit start pregame preview show. So, check it out, sit and start. Check out that way you know who to play, because for whatever reason we get a lot of those sit start questions already Monday. Like I'm like, calm down. We just got through the whole thing on a Tuesday or whatever, right? So Sunday mornings we got Mike at 8 a.m. doing active, inactive, sit start, and casual DFS lineups. So that's most of the lineups that we have on a weekly basis. We also got Kendall with the Fantasy Football Tavern and Cody McGoats with the Sweet Pod Life, the Sweet Life Pod with Jack and Cody McGoats. And they just drop videos into the channel, so they're not necessarily like a weekly show, but they do get some videos going on here for us. So as always, please like and subscribe. We do appreciate that. It helps us grow the channel. And as well, we're going to be adding timestamps and chapters so that you can skip to the content you want to check out. But we do appreciate the looks throughout the show. But we understand if you're short on time and if you need to just go to the waiver wire targets or trade targets for the week or something, you could just go jump to that section. So yeah, so tonight we're doing basically um, the Thursday night sit start. I don't think we have too much in injuries, right? Or should we skip to the injuries? Actually, the
Yeah,
injuries first, right?
yeah, and really no injuries there except for Slayton dealing with that thumb. He's listed as questionable. But yeah, let's talk about some players, man. First guy's Devin Singletary. I'll turn it over to you since I probably sound terrible.
So yeah, Thursday night sit start. I would players discuss Devin Singletary should definitely be started. Unfortunately, my Cowboys defense can't stop the run for nothing. The rest of the league knows that now, and all they do is run on the Cowboys. So the last running backs have just had incredible days against the Cowboys. So I would definitely be starting him. Uh, we also got like guys like Wandale Robinson and Jalen Tolbert, and even Brandon Cooks. I would be starting these guys. I think it's going to be a shootout. Um, I think they're going to be, whether Dallas gets behind because of the running, or the Giants try to keep up, or whatever the case may be. I think they're going to be, one of those.
Or just because the Cowboys can't run the ball.
Yeah, they're going to throw the ball, so it's just going to be going down the field one way or another. I think that Rico Dowdle has been doing better during the weeks. He's getting more touches than Zeke and whatnot, but you just got to get it so that it's like good viable numbers to be able to start in a daily fantasy here. I'm actually having the spot start him because I got injuries on at the running back position. So at least I have a backup somebody to put in because my two starters are down. So
And at least it's the Giants.
yeah,
There's
and
that.
it's the Giants. It's not like they're facing the Jets or the San Francisco team with better defenses, better run stop defenses, where they got like no hope. You know, what I mean, you don't even want to start good running backs against those guys, let alone somebody who's doing okay. Um, so with those being said, so you definitely must start Lamb. You definitely must start Neighbors. He's like literally the number one wide receiver right now in fantasy, right? Like it's kind of crazy.
Yeah, he is.
What did the guy have over there on the Giants, right? Like on a regular weekly basis. If it wasn't this week, I probably wouldn't be starting Robinson either. Due to that, but Dak is looking good, even with losing that last game. He did throw quite a few yardage. I think 300 plus yards last week. Um, in a comeback effort, but I mean, albeit losing effort, but still, he's getting the numbers up there, and it's good to see all that happen. So you got to get the yardage in there. Um, who else do we got here? Um, Ferguson, he came back last week. He had some good number of targets. I'd definitely be starting him as well. Um, I guess some of the sit people on this week. We're looking at Zeke. Like as I just mentioned, Rico Dowdle needs to get more of the touches. Um, Zeke, I've been sitting him for a while. Daniel Jones, I mean, shoot, with Michael Parsons, we're going to be rushing him. He's going to be on his butt. He's going to be rushed quite often. Probably throw an interception or two. So not somebody you would want to start on a regular basis, anyways. As you mentioned, Slayton, the only guy that has like an injury designation. So he's got a thumb situation going on there. And then we got Theo and Bellinger too, Giants tight ends. Also not a good option. Dallas. One thing they can do stop is the pass. That's one thing they can stop. And so hopefully we get our other guy back here pretty soon. Opposite Diggs. I can't even think of his name right now. Oh man, I'm drawing a blank. But last year he even pulled off like 5 pick sixes. So once he gets back, that defense part of it will be better.
Brand.
Yeah, Duran Bland. I couldn't think of his name right now. It's just Duran Bland.
I got you, man. Even in the chat saying what's going on, man. I can't do it, guys. This is gonna be a silent show for me. I'm sorry. It's gonna be Frank, man. But I have my show notes here, so hopefully he'll read some of my stuff off. But we'll see. Anyway, go ahead, man. I'm sorry.
Steven George, what's going on with your mic, man?
Yeah,
sounds
it's
like
brutal.
you're cutting out.
I even bought all new stuff. And it's terrible right now. So I promise you guys, this is not our normal production. Go back, watch our other shows, except for last Monday, like Joe said. But yeah, so of course, Joe, we'll get to your starts and sits here. Well, towards the end of the show when we do our Q&A, of course. He knows to throw it in there for now.
Start trying to help me out on the backside. Start starting some of these questions that we're looking at.
For sure.
So basically that's Thursday night sit start. I mean, the Cowboys are 1-2, Giants are 1-2. They're 5.5 favorites here. The over/under is 45.5 points. And really no really major injuries on either team other than Darius Slayton-Thumb. Again, it was mentioned Deron Bland's coming back, but it's not like they haven't been playing without him anyways. Um, so yeah, some really quick injury news topics here. Just kind of things that are going
Oh,
on.
hold on. I didn't know you were switching right there. So, I mean, the chat's saying, I guess it just sounds terrible, but they can at least understand me. So I'll try not to rant, so to speak, which I'm kind of doing right now. But let me just give you my quick rundowns on these guys. So
Oh,
when
okay.
it comes to
He wants to speak up now. He can't
just
help
real
himself.
quick, yeah, I can't, man. I can't. There's no way I'm going to sit here and be quiet, man, no matter how bad it sounds. But I'm going to go with Singletary. I have him as a start, as a flex. Wandale Robinson, I think he's a sneaky play. He's been putting up some solid numbers, even with neighbors going off. So I have him as a potential flex if you're in a certain spot. But more so probably sitting. But if you're in a pinch, Tolbert and Cooks still not quite comfortable starting them yet. Again, it is the Giants defense, so if you're in a tough situation, I don't mind flexing them either. And like you said, Dowdle, if you need to throw him in a RB2 spot just because of the situation, this is the time to do it against Dallas. So, but obviously, I agree with the must starts and the must sits there. So that's just my 2 cents on our players to discuss. So we'll go ahead and move it over now to our news and injury topics. So go right ahead.
Got the banners, perfect. Thank you. So we're looking at just some quick injury reads here for Commanders running back Austin Eckler, concussion, he's out. 49ers wide receiver Deebo Samuels, he's got a calf, did not practice, and tight end George Kittle hamstring limited. So at least he might be coming back. I don't know if Deebo's coming back. Texans running back Joe Mixon ankle, and then wide receiver Tank Dell chest, did not practice, DNP on that. We also got Chargers quarterback with an ankle. I think he should be coming back, right? And then we got wide receivers Josh Palmer, elbow, calf, who's also limited. I think you were talking about him already being injured, though, Justin Herbert, and then at least let him sit this one last game so he could go into the bye and everything else.
He came out today, though, and said that's not what they're thinking. Like, if he's good enough to play on Sunday, he's playing. So,
yeah,
we'll see, though. That's the player saying that.
They're throwing into the fire.
That's what he should say.
Yeah, right? I need to play. I want to play, right?
As the leader of the team. Go ahead. Sorry.
Cardinals
Robo Rasta out.
Cardinals wide receiver, MHJ. Who the heck is MHJ? Marvin Harrison Jr. Quad. Well, I see it different ways all the time. It's like, you know what I mean? You got to think about it. Quad. He's limited, but he should be playing. I wouldn't worry about that guy. Eagles wide receiver AJ Brown hamstring. I think he's still going to be out. We also got Devontae Smith with a concussion. Also did not practice. I think both of these guys are going to be out. So probably be next man up, Jason over there or somebody. Stepping up.
Different team. Different green team.
Oh no, that's never mind. Different green team. I don't know.
Dotson.
Oh, that's Geno Smith over there.
It's going to be a Dallas Goedert week. Go ahead.
Oh yeah. No, again, coming back, Dallas Goedert, right? I got to throw him back into the lineup. I think even took him out, dude, which is terrible. Packers quarterback Jordan Love knee hopefully comes back. If not, one more week, which at that point he should have just been on IR, seems like. Then we got wide receiver Jordan Reed, also calf, quad, also limited. He should be okay too, right? I don't think that's going to be holding him up.
Yeah. It is just Wednesday. So
yeah, it's just Wednesday, exactly. Let's see what happens Thursday, Friday. Friday for sure, kind of give us a better idea. Saints running back Alvin Kamara, hip, ribs, did not practice, probably given a Veterans Day as well. Also, Taysom Hill chest is back to full practicing. So he had some kind of scare there, but he seems to be a lot better, avoided some major injuries. You also got Bengals running back, right receiver, Jamar Chase, shoulder also limited through the walkthrough after the Monday Night Football game. So he had some soreness, but he should be all right. He's back to form.
Yeah.
Probably just a little sore, getting back into shape here. We got Bears wide receiver Keenan Allen, also Hill limited. I think he's not going to be playing, right? But again, it's still Wednesday, so we still got time to find out what's going on by Friday, but not critical as Jamar Chase, right? And then we got Steelers running back Harris, arms, and just rest, and is getting the Warren with the knee, did not practice, so Who's starting over there for these guys then? If the Harris doesn't play, because I think Warren's out.
Cordero Patterson, but they're saying
Cordero?
Najee's good. It was a kind of a rest day. His arm was in a sling, but he should be good to go.
Some more of a vet day, right? Like give him
Yeah.
some time here. Interesting though, because it's just been Harris the whole way now. Warren's like gone. You know that timeshare that they had last year. It's pretty much non-existent now. He's droppable, as far as I'm concerned. I think we already had talked about that, so it's terrible. So now it's time to pay some bills. You know, we've got to talk about here our guys who support the show, Underdog Fantasy. You know, you guys got to go check them out. You know, they're the best place to pay best ball fantasy football. We and Anthony and I use them all preseason, right on up to the season starts. So we do all our best ball tournaments on there. So you just go in there, draft your team, and you don't have to do any waivers, no trades, no weekly lineup setting. You set it and forget it, and you could draft hundreds of teams that way. And you know it's good money as well. You also, now that you're in the season, you can do the pick'em contest, so you could simply go down and pick higher or lower on player stats, total yards, touchdowns, things like that. And you know you could get multiple players to get a multiple bonus set up there. So right now we also have the deposit match that they have going on with the Get Right code. You receive a 50% deposit match, now up to $1,000 bonus cash. So you know, use that promo code. And they also got the weekly ones going on. What do we got this week, Anthony, for week 4? There we
It's
go.
going
We
to be
got
your
Money
Patrick
Mondays.
Mahomes.
Patrick Mahomes.
Mahomes plus or minus a half a passing yard.
Nice. That's a free pick. I mean, come on. You know, so you definitely get that. You can bundle that together with another pick, and over and under on that, and
Higher or lower.
higher or lower. Sorry, I always say that. Get the higher or lower on that, and again, Underdog Fantasy, man, go check them out. Download the app and use code Get Right.
Awesome.
So yeah, so let's get into what we wanted to talk about in the show. Some trade philosophy, right? Like, what are we doing? When do you think about when you could buy low, you can sell high? What's the idea?
That
of
was
getting
last
that
week.
started?
That was last week. So today's trade
Throw me off.
tips. I tried to tell you in the beginning. I adjusted it. But yeah, this whole sound thing has me all thrown off. Also, by the way, anyone watching, again, apologize for the mic issues right now. I will get it fixed hopefully by Friday, because doing a 2 almost 3 hour start shit show will be brutal. It might be a shit show, which is what I think I just said. But yeah, so drop your questions in the chat. You can drop them in there now, because when we get to the end of the show, we will do a whole Q&A segment. When we get done, if you do want us to get to your question right away, then you can drop us the super chat. If not, just drop it in there now, and we will, of course, get to it by the end of the show. So let's talk some trade philosophy and tips. This week's question is going to be sending the first offer, or initiating a trade negotiation. So just quickly, Frank, I know you're not as much of a trader, so to speak, as I am. But when you are looking to do a trade, how do you go about, sending that first offer and kind of initiating that trade negotiation? Are you sending them a DM first and say, hey, what's up? Do you start by sending like a lowball type offer just to kind of shoot the cannons off and say, this is who I'm interested in? What's kind of your tactic when it comes to wanting to enter a trade negotiation?
I do first like to approach the player, either a DM or a text or whatever, just to let them know, hey, are you interested at all? I just feel that it's a better approach than just to kind of shooting the offer sometimes, and then just shoot like a middle of the road, maybe kind of benefiting you type offer, because sometimes it's okay to shoot high. They might actually take it. They might like the player that you're offering first more, and I don't like to send that garbage offer. You know what I mean? Like sometimes I get that garbage offer in the beginning, and I'm like, come on now. Now you're disrespecting me and my knowledge, or just in general, just wasting my time. Let's really get closer to the middle, to where we're actually going to be right off the bat, then later. Like, because when I set my mind to the trade, it's going to get done one way or another. Like at some point, we're going to figure out what's going to be, the cost for either one of us to get it done. And that's why I like talking first, then just sending a trade offer. But sometimes, you just got to shoot it out there. I mean, if you're in a trading mood, and you got to get some things done. And like your my team, one of my teams is 0-3 right now. It's terrible. Like it's just not getting their stuff together. And I feel like I just need to start, just sending trades out to everybody, feelers, and see who bites. Yeah, it's at this point, it's almost like fishing at that point. You know what I mean? You're just like throwing out trade offers and see who's like sends a counter or whatever, right? And then you're, at that point you're started. But I definitely like just sending out the text or message first, just to see if they're all interested, because I don't want to waste their time or my time specifically, so I could actually reach out to a player who does want to trade, and then we can really start sending offers back and forth.
Well said. So as you know, I'm notorious for never sending my best offer right away.
No.
I do kind of send one of those lowball offers, so to speak, but I always follow it up with a message that says, this is not a real offer. I'm just letting you know who I'm interested in. I don't know what, because sometimes if you try to tell someone, oh, you're weak at this position or good at this position, that might get rubbed, the wrong way as well. So what I try to do is just say, like kind of a combination of what you said, but I like sending the offer to say, look, these are, some of the players that I'm interested in. Obviously I'm not expecting you to accept this trade. This is just me kind of sending off my flare gun saying, hey, like I'm interested in these guys. Like, are any of them on your do not trade list? Like, are they untouchable? Or are you willing to move someone, for the right price? And then obviously I'm in sales. I like to negotiate. I like the art of the trade. Some people like to just wham, bam, thank you, ma'am. And just real quick, don't want to say anything and just, maybe one or two counters. But like, I really try to get in there and figure out like what that team is looking for, what they need. Because to me, I think if both teams are benefiting from the trade, like that's a good trade. Like I'm not trying to go after people and suck the life out of them. I mean, I do have the, title as the dentist, but that's just more so because I'm very meticulous on, what's going on. And like I said, I like to, talk it out a lot, and really find out, what people are thinking, because that's also how you get to know your league mates as well, for future trades and future years, to understand and try to get an idea. Obviously, you guys listen to us, hopefully. And we have our rankings out there. So like, if you want to know what we truly think about someone, you can easily find that out. But not everybody has a fantasy football show to understand and how you understand where they rank certain guys. So it is a little harder, obviously, since we've started this show. Yeah. But at the same time, like we still make trades happen, because really people do know how we truly feel about them. And it really doesn't matter, because they may disagree with us, which is great. That's how we have conversations and debates. But for me, that's how, I personally like to do it. So again, if you are going to shoot one of those low ball offers, follow it up with the text that says like, I'm not expecting you, like I respect you enough to understand you're not going to accept this trade, but like, what are you interested in? Do you feel like your team's good, or are you looking to maybe make improvements, and, kind of go from there and start the conversation. I just think that starts things out on the same foot. And yeah, so, exactly. Like you don't want to be that guy, right? Like, hey, let me just snatch this guy from you. So exactly. So we don't really want any of that. But, at the same time, I absolutely want to, figure out what they're looking for to see if it's even, going to be worth that negotiation. And then, of course, you always are shooting high, and we'll probably get into that in, more segments later, just because I have to try to have like 15 or 16 of these type of questions. But, always, try to shoot high, for someone, even if you're the person you really want. I'm usually never really including that in those first like couple players that I send and say I'm interested in these guys. I always try to test them for their top guys, or if they have an injured guy that's a top guy, like, hey, what's this going to cost me? And that'll kind of also let me know and help me put a trade package together for the player that I ultimately truly want. Because again, I never try to count anybody's money. I never try to, depict someone's team unless they're asking me for my opinion or my advice. Because obviously that guy drafted those players for a certain reason. And then it's just a matter of, do they still feel that way or not feel that way, based on, the guys they have. So
performance thus far sometimes, right?
Right. Or injuries, or if they're panicking, poor performances. Yeah, all that goes in there. So it's good just to kind of put your toe in the water and say, hey, look, I'm interested. And then when it comes to that, just say, all right, well, maybe we're not set up to trade. Appreciate you talking to me, whatever. It's cool chatting football, talking football anyway. And that's almost kind of how and why I started this show in the first place. because I just like talking trades with people, and I like talking, like what value do you
Just
have on
like
this guy,
talk
or what do
fantasy
you think
football. We
about
would just
him?
talk for
Yeah,
hours. They're like, why don't we just do a show, man? Why
just
we
do a
always just
show and
talking to
talk
each
about
other, right?
yeah, exactly. So
But Balin Rios here said some managers is just not worth your time bargaining with, and that's why I
yes,
like just to send out my thing first, so I don't waste their time and my time specifically. If somebody is interested in trading, let's talk. If they're not interested in trading, that it is. He said never had a player that's untouchable before, but
hey
everybody has their
Balin,
price.
you're my kind of
Uh,
guy.
so he's willing to wheel and deal here. Anthony likes to wheel and deal. Like Anthony said earlier, there's a reason why some people draft certain guys, and they like them. They're happy with them. They want to roll with them throughout the year. I'm that way as very much so. But other times I'm like not doing too good. Things are not meshing right. Like even especially on the losing team, you just got to shake things up at some point. Maybe you just don't have the right guys that are meshing with you. So these guys are scoring good on one week, and the other guys aren't, and there's just not matching up for your team. And sometimes you just got to trade similar players for similar players. It's okay, just
Hmm.
to shake things up. You don't have to always improve. You just got to get a different guy on a different team or a better situation or whatever it is. You know what I mean? Just to kind of shake
Yeah.
things up, and it'll help you and your team, and just kind of get your skills in there. Anyways, so and he did come back. He says if anyone should be untouchable this season, it's Saquon. I just traded him away a few days ago. LOL.
Who did you get, Balin? I want to know who you got
Yeah.
for Saquon. Let us know. Let us
Yeah,
know
exactly. What'd you get in return right there? Um,
for sure.
but
So
yeah,
yeah, so I'll wrap it up there. Like, I don't think we need to go too much longer on that. I think that was good. But yeah, let us know what you guys think about this little trade philosophy and tips segment that we're doing here. If you have any specific questions or thoughts about trading that you want us to discuss here in this segment, let us know. Hit us up. Our links are down in the description. Otherwise, I'll just keep coming up with them here, and we'll keep chatting about them. So, kind of like this little additional segment that we threw in this year. It's really fun to chat about some of this stuff.
to talk it out.
Because again, this is what we usually talk about off screen, so why not do it here on the screen? So good stuff. All right, man. And I just remembered that my mic sucked again. I was doing all that talking, like I was holding off for so long, and I just got to remember it sucked. So again, apologize to anybody watching. I know my mic sucks right now. I will be getting it fixed, but hopefully you can at least understand me. May not be the greatest quality, but there we go. So let's get into some trade targets, man. That's why the people are here. Let's try to just get through these things here really quick. Ooh, you were on it. So go ahead, man. Let's hear your top 3 trade targets.
All right, so I'm looking at as
And
far as
let's
we're
go with
gonna preface
buy
it
low first. Yeah.
as a buy low right here. One of the ones I have is Tank Dell. Just hasn't been performing too well up to his last year's standards, at least. So I think he's got better days ahead of him. The offense is still doing well over there. There's not too many injuries, so I definitely would be looking to get him. I think he's got better days. And then another guy here that I have is Christian Watson. It hasn't looked too good with him, especially after Jordan Love went out. Reed still seemed to be okay. He had somewhat of a better game this last game, but I think you can still kind of reach out for him. I don't think too many people are like so enthralled with him that when it was the beginning of the season, right? And hopefully Jordan Love comes back not this game, maybe next game, and that's why you can still like kind of reach out to him right now because he's low on value. He's just a bench guy right now, so it's an easy target to go after. Another guy would be McCaffrey, man. I know that people are looking to trade. We were just mentioning some of these guys that are untouchable. I think due to all the news that you're hearing about going to Germany, this and that, I think it just kind of devalues his position a little bit, and when he actually may return. And at this point, I think that it's put enough hurt on some of those managers that you can go after them and package a running back and a wide receiver for McCaffrey, a tier 2 guys, and still do all right and get him at a decent price now before he comes back from injury and really blows up, because he will be back at some point, hopefully by fantasy playoffs to win you your ship. So you'll be happy to have him then. So yeah, I mean, I got a couple more here. And Xavier Worthy, he had a really good
We're just
breakout
doing
game.
3. We're just
Just doing three. All
we're
right.
just doing 3. if we have extra
Split the
time
whistle.
or questions
We
come
got
up,
more.
you can,
We got more.
yeah, you can work it in there later. We want the people to still want more. Let them ask, and we'll tell. But yeah, so we'll switch it over to me here. So my top three buy low trade targets right now. Number one is going to be Zay Flowers. So Zay Flowers, not coming off the greatest game last week against Dallas. Only three catches on 4 targets for only 20 yards. Also only played 67% of the snaps, which was, also interesting. But at the same time, you know, Mark Andrews barely only played like 33% of the snaps. The thing you have to
That's
remember
crazy
is
going
Lamar
on over there.
Jackson only attempted 15 passes that entire game. They came in, realized that they could run, so they're just like, we're running on Dallas, and until they stop it, we're not going to do anything. And then the fact that like they were literally winning until like the Niners with a few minutes left in the game, then all of a sudden Dallas just makes this comeback, onside kick, like all this craziness started to happen. Like all they were trying to do then is literally just in the game. They weren't like in passing or catch up mode. So I think that's maybe why Zay, wasn't quite out there. Before that, he's seen double-digit targets in every game. 10 targets, 11 targets. Scored 11 and 22 points. Respectfully, gets Buffalo next, and then Cincinnati, and then he gets that Washington matchup. So you definitely want to do it before then. I just think this is a big-time opportunity to buy low. If the Zay Flowers manager is panicking for whatever reason, and thinking that, oh, maybe this is Derrick Henry and all they're going to do is run now, and this whole thing, I'd like to go grab him. And again, if I can get him for a low price, maybe trade like Christian Kirk and somebody else, or maybe like Zach Charbonnet, who has Walker coming back, maybe Chuba Hubbard, which will, a couple of these guys, I'm getting a little ahead of myself for sell highs, but he'd be somebody I'm trying to target. The next guy I have on my list here, kind of in a similar situation, is James Conner. So James Conner started off really hot. Already had some, question marks coming in. Has that injury-prone kind of tag. Everyone thinks he's going to miss time. They drafted, Trey Benson. So, goes out, only has 9 carries for 17 yards after putting up 2 back-to-back 20-point games. But also played the most snaps against Detroit, 67 and 62, and then played 75% of the snaps here against Detroit. Was a weird game script for him. People are going to have down games. They do get Washington next. San Francisco's been susceptible on the ground, just gave up a big day to Kyron Williams, and then he gets Green Bay, the Chargers, Miami. Still a fairly decent schedule, and has a decent playoff schedule as well. Home against New England, at Carolina, and then at the Rams. 2 games in a dome, one game in Carolina, which maybe will be rainy, but usually it's not snowing or anything like that. And then it is Carolina, so that's a nice game to have that guy to hopefully vault you into, your fantasy championship. So James Conner is definitely someone I'm looking to, test the waters and see if there's an opportunity to buy low. The other guy I'm going to go with here is actually going to be a series of guys. I'm going to try to get away with a little bit of cheating here. See, I try to be a little smarter than you. I'm going to say all the struggling like tight ends. Your Mark Andrews, Kincaid did score a touchdown, this week. Sam Laporta's hurt. And again, these are, we're not talking about guys that are, hurt. These are, healthy guys. I mean, Tank's a little banged up, but not a serious injury. That's a whole different thing. But yeah, so, I'm trying to buy one of these top tight ends if anyone's panicking on them. Tight ends are tight ends. Like we've seen that, it doesn't really matter, but if you can get a guy that you feel, has the talent and has a role on his team, McBride, dealing with the concussion, Kincaid, Laporta, Andrews, even Kyle Pitts, if there's somebody like that I can, because those guys are still better options than anyone you're just going to randomly stream off the waiver wire. So if I can go get one of those guys right now and just have a guy that I don't have to really sweat it, and you're either going to get a good game or get a bad game, which is going to happen if you're streaming somebody anyway. It's just less work with waiver wires, claims, and especially fab that you can spend towards other positions on your team. So that's kind of my thought process there.
You get the higher upside of them scoring a touchdown, possibly. You get the 50, 60 yards and the touchdown, more likely from some of the top guys versus the waiver wire guys.
Remember,
and at least you have a crapshoot at that point.
Yeah, remember Noah Fant had 6 for 60 yards, and he was the tight end 5 this week. Didn't even score a touchdown. Just 6 for 16 full PPR, tight end 5. So again, if I can get Andrews or someone like that, I'm absolutely doing it. So yeah. So let's go to your sell highs.
I just want to throw this in here real quick. A statement Razor show you was like, Deadass just traded away Tank Dell and Christian Watson this week. So yeah,
You're right on the other side of that. To be able to buy low, you have to have people that are willing to sell. So it just
and
looks
that's
like
the
you're on the other
situation.
side of that.
You were on the sell part of it, and somebody
Perfect.
was buying. Somebody was buying.
Perfect.
See?
Yeah,
Just to let
perfect
you know,
opportunity.
that's
It could
why,
happen.
know?
Yeah, those owners are looking for it. So there
Yeah.
you go.
So some sell high candidates. I think Romo Dunze has high opportunity right now, but I don't see how long that's going to be lasting over there. In Chicago, who's coming back right now? I forgot who it was.
Keenan Allen?
Yeah, just Keenan Allen, but I forgot. There was another player that was injured. I forgot who it was. No, it wasn't DJ
because
Moore.
DJ
Maybe
Moore
it was
is
just
good.
maybe it was just Keenan Allen.
Well, Odunze was banged up with a knee issue, but he played. So.
Yeah, and he's a rookie
And
as
went
well.
off. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like they're just spotty. I think that just early for this guy, along with Caleb Williams having off games. You know what I mean? It's just really hard to trust that guy. So if you could sell high on him right now, I think that'd be a good idea because he had a decent game. Jawan Jennings, I think is the low hanging fruit for everybody. Had that great game. If you picked him up, I would move on him as fast as I could just to get somebody because as soon as Debo and you get straightened out and Kittle's back, he'll be long forgotten, or at least his opportunities to have a good game like he just had are few and far between. All right. I think somebody else even mentioned in the chat, so we're all on the same page on that. And then another guy we got here is Deontay Johnson. Did have him almost as a waiver wire ad this week because everybody forgot about him. Had that good game with the Red Rocket. I would sell high on him just to see what you can get you a guy on a better offense. Regardless, I know that seems like the Red Rocket over there saved the day, but at the end of the day, it's still the Panthers, and you want to have guys on better teams basically have better opportunities to score and give you a better shot at winning over these low end teams that have shoddy offenses, right? You always want to get the high powered offense guys on your team. So those are three guys that I got here on sell high.
Very cool. All right, so we'll get to. Oh, did I forget to switch the banner, or you forgot? I don't know.
Maybe we all both forgot. So
That's all good. All right, so back to me. So my top 3 buy low trade candidates here. You did take a couple, or I'm sorry, sell high candidates here. You did take a couple of mine, Jawan and Deontay. I definitely agree with those guys there. I'm gonna go with Terry McLaurin. Had a good game, on Wednesday, but that was, what was it, 4 catches or something for 100 yards and a touchdown. We saw him connect with Jaden Daniels with the deep ball. But if you take out that 55-yard touchdown, I mean, I think he would have had 3 catches for 50 yards. Again, you could say that with anybody if you take their big, touchdown away. But I just, hadn't been a fan of Terry in the first place, just kind of heading into this season. And, I just find it, an opportunity where, coming off a big game, the way Jaden Daniels played, maybe you can capitalize on that. And again, we always say in this sell high segment, we're not saying sell these guys and just give them away. We'll let you know if that's what we're trying to do. But in these type of situations, we try to bring to you guys that you truly can kind of sell high on, people that other people should be interested in, or possibly interested in, especially depending on their situation with their team at the moment. So Terry McLaurin is someone I'd be looking to sell. Again, not giving him away, but if you can capitalize off this big game, I just don't think Jaden's going to throw for 90+ completion percentage and connect on all those deep balls. But you never know. So there you go. One of the other
looks good, man. He's like the real deal.
Yeah. One of the other guys I have is Steph Diggs. So he's coming off, interestingly enough, getting 10 targets, which I was pretty shocked. Or I'm sorry, I think 10 catches on 12 targets, 90 something yards, 94 yards. But no touchdown. He did play the most snaps he did all year, playing 85% of the snaps. So again, if we saw him go off, 6 for 6 and 2 touchdowns week 1, came back down to earth for only 37 yards week 2. Now we've seen him balloon up with a uptick in targets. Tank Dell was kind of banged up a little bit. They were playing from behind in this game. But when Mixon gets back, I think they'll have more ball control, and I don't think they'll have as many attempts the way Mixon and that team wants to run. So I think this is an opportunity. Like if you missed out after week 2 and you're like, oh, I should have sold him after week 1.
Yeah.
You have another chance. So
There you go.
again, don't give him away, but he could be a nice piece to a bigger package where someone's going to feel because he's part of a good offense attached to a good quarterback. Has 2 out of the 3 games with decent numbers, and the targets are there, so you can really sell that and say, look, he's obviously emerging, from the offense, getting 12 targets. But to me, Collins is still the man over there, and I still would rather have Tank Dell over Diggs at this point. Again, I could be wrong. We all could be wrong. Just how I personally feel. So Steph Diggs number 2. My number 3, I'm gonna cheat again. I'm gonna try to cheat again. So any tight end that goes off, that's not one of those like big 5. I'm trying to sell him right away. Like if you can turn any tight end into something, especially a wide receiver or running back. Yeah, like your Cole Kmet, who had a big game. Goddard, obviously, who had a crazy game. He may have another decent game here this week. But this is the time to sell because once AJ Brown comes back, once Devonta Smith comes back, he's going to go back to his role.
Even after having that big game, he still didn't even score a touchdown, getting 160 yards or whatever it was. It was still like no TD.
Yeah. So if I can, I'm trying to sell him. But if that doesn't count, then Amari Cooper is someone you can sell, but I won't go way off on that. That's my honorable mention. So those are my sell high targets for heading into week 4.
Perfect. So, what do we got next here? We're gonna do a buy, sell, hold segment.
So let's get into our buy, sell, hold. Let's get the
banner for that one.
Yeah, we'll get that switched over. So buy, sell, hold for week 4. So those who are returners, you guys know we're just going to kind of go through a list of names here and let you know if we're buying, selling, or holding these players. It's supposed to be rapid fire, Frank, so we don't need a big, long reason as to why. Just let me know, buy, sell, hold. Maybe it's sell and hold. Maybe it's a buy and hold. You can kind of answer it like that, but we don't need like, oh, because he's part of this offense or, just real quick, rapid fire to get to as many names as we can. So with that said, where are you now with J.K. Dobbins? Is he a buy, sell, or hold?
I think you could sell high on him. I think that, if he's I just went real quick. Just
all right.
He's put his due in. He's got obviously a really good season going, but he's injury prone. That's it.
There you go. Good stuff. All right, we'll take that. You can do quick takes like 10 seconds. 10 seconds.
Yeah.
All right. Zach Charbonnet. Where are you with Zach Charbonnet? With Ken Walker possibly coming back
I'd
here
sell
soon?
high if I could. I'm
okay.
selling just because Ken Walker is going to come back, and I don't think he's going to timeshare with him.
You don't think he's earned a little role after the what he's done?
No, he's been there.
Right.
They already knew what he had. They didn't already do that already. I don't think he just all of a sudden became better. You know what I mean? No.
There you go. All right, I'll give you a layup here, and I'll give you a little extra time since you had him as one of your honorable mentions. Brandon Ayuk, buy, sell, or hold Brandon Ayuk.
At this point, if you could buy him low, but I think you could, if you have him, you possibly should hold on him. He should be coming around. I don't know what it is, game script, just because Debo's out, whatever the situation is, it's got to get better. I don't think, he's obviously got paid for a reason. Leave it at that.
All right. Like I said, I was giving you extra time on that one because he was your honorable mention.
Yeah.
Buy, sell, or hold Michael Pittman.
I think you can sell if you can. Not sure how much you're going to get for Pittman at this time. Hopefully his name still carries some value. I just worry about Anthony Richardson.
Yeah, not even, playing around 85 to 90% of the snaps, not even 100% snap share. Targets have been reducing from 8 to 7 to 5 over the last 3 games. Gets Pittsburgh, Jacksonville, Tennessee coming up next. So 2 out of 3 tough matchups with defenses there. Jacksonville is So I kind of feel the same way with Pittman. I'm kind of, like we said, we'd let you know if we're selling For anything, like if I could get anything for Pittman right now, I'm trying to move off him.
Something
So
decent. Okay. I mean, but at this point,
Yeah.
you got to move.
Exactly. All right. So let's see. Here's a good one. Jalen Waddle. Buy, sell, or hold Jalen Waddle.
I'm selling, man.
Selling?
I'm selling.
Okay.
Who
I'm a
knows
hold.
Who knows when Tua comes back, if he comes back. And he definitely needs Tua back. Any of the other guys that are there just don't even see him. He gets like literally 0 targets. I'm just worried. Period. Injuries. Done.
Okay. Here's another one for you. Devin Singletary. Buy, sell, or hold Devin Singletary.
I think you could sell after the Cowboys game if you want to sell high because you'll get a good game. And I just don't think that that offense could, I don't know. He's just a low end, like number 3 running back, I think, to me. Like it's so matchup dependent because they're going to be behind him most games anyways.
Technically, right now in PPR, he's the RB17, coming off a 16 carry for 65 and a touchdown, 2 consecutive games with a touchdown against Washington and Cleveland. And like you said, gets Dallas, Seattle, and then Cincinnati next. So, yeah, Devin Singletary, I'm probably a hold. Or, if I can sell him and make him part of a package, I wouldn't mind doing that either. Let's see. Let's go with Zach Moss. I know you have Zach Moss in a couple places.
Yeah.
How are you feeling
like
about Zach Moss? Buy, sell, or hold?
I like him. I think he's he's doing well. He held off Chase Brown. We were all like looking for Chase Brown to get away from him, and even at this point, probably be in that time situation and then let Chase Brown take the lead. But I don't think that's happening. I think he's been doing a good job over there holding down the fort, and he's earned his spot. I'm holding.
All right. After Rashid Shaheed's goose egg, are you buy, sell, or hold Rashid Shaheed?
It happens. I'm just not sure how much you could sell him for after a bad game like that, right? So I think you should just hold on to him.
Yeah, I'm either a hold or I'm buying if I can buy low on Shaheed. Like you said, he's kind of one of those boomer bust guys, but we've seen his floor, which I guess technically is 0, which is anyone's floor. You hate to see it, but he just barely missed on 2 long passes. One of them would have been a touchdown. So sometimes it just goes that way. So yeah. All right. So George Pickens, buy, sell, or hold George Pickens. Been kind of quiet. What are we doing?
I would hold on to him. I think just better days ahead. I would buy low if I could on him. He's a good wide receiver. Just the situations as it presented itself, but I think that things will get better.
Yeah, I'm either buying or holding as well. I don't mind taking a shot on him, especially now that we know maybe it's going to be Justin Fields. It looks like he's pretty much there unless he just completely falls apart. He's looked decent. So if I can go buy George Pickens, again, if it's not going to cost me anything crazy, then I'd absolutely go do it. Buy, sell, or hold Ramondre Stevenson. I'm just going to do 2 more here. Ramondre Stevenson.
Ramondre Stevenson, I think, is like literally the only running back that I like over there in New England. I keep saying that. I would hold on to him. I think they got some tough schedule coming up. I forgot what that schedule was. Maybe you have it in front of you.
No, I didn't have his up, but 15 seconds before we end this segment, so I'm going to squeeze in one more here for you. Buy, sell, or hold Devontae Adams.
I'm selling. I'm selling for as much as what you can. There's no wide
real quickly on DK Metcalf.
Not even happy.
Buy, sell, or hold DK Metcalf.
Hold.
All right, we're done. All right, I'm buying DK, man. If I can go get him, I like what I see so far, so I'm going to get him. All right, man. So let's get into this Q&A, man. I think that's where we're at now, right?
Yeah.
All right,
let's
perfect.
Check it out.
So
the live Q&A pulled up. Perfect. Let's check it out.
There it is. So we're going to go back up to the top. If you guys have questions, go ahead and drop them in the chat. Now we will get to as many as we can. We'll, at least for the next 10 minutes, maybe we'll go longer depending on what we have. Again, feel free to send us super chats as well, too. We'd appreciate that for our efforts here.
What up,
just supporting the show. What's up, Uno Gas? Let's try to rapid fire these things and get it. Oh, I just remembered about my mic again. Is it still terrible? It's still terrible.
It's still terrible. No, guys.
I forgot.
It's all good. Hey, so check it out.
I get excited. Yeah, so you go ahead and read it, man. I'm
So
sorry.
check it out. We got Joe Ortiz here. I'll just start reading them off. Then you still give your bits. So, I'll just read them off for us, just to be a little bit clearer. Joe Ortiz talking Dowdle or Hall.
The only Hall I know is Brees Hall. So
Yeah.
is there another Hall? Whether it's trade or starter, say it's Hall. Either way. So go ahead. Please. I'm sure Joe's still here. So
Dowdle's
please clarify.
he gets better than that, but yeah, please clarify. Stay blessed. Said, should I throw a Ferguson at the flex? I would.
Depending on your other options, I would, but I personally wouldn't this week. Put him in your tight end spot and flex whoever your normal starting tight end is. Just because they do play on Thursday, you want to give yourself that little bit of flexibility. Don't lock up one of those flex spots on a Thursday night.
Yeah, that's good. Well said. Yeah, throw him in your tight end spot. That's well said. Because he's a starter. I would definitely start him this week. That's
in this. Yeah, Giants give up booty to tight ends. You want to give Ferguson in there.
But you want to make sure that if you're at the flex, that you have opportunities for that flex to be. Something happens, injuries, things like that. Ortiz here.
You skipped my guy here, Sean, with the Niner question there.
I don't even see it.
Yeah, I know.
Did you start it?
Yeah, it's there.
I didn't see it.
I got it. Are you on the? Did you go to the start tab? Because if you go to the start tab,
I'm in the start tab. It's in this order. I didn't skip him.
Oh, really? Interesting.
Mine doesn't even have him there.
Read it off. I just thought you did it on purpose because it started off with Niners, and you're like,
not on my list.
All right.
Sean Hume. Hey, what's up, Sean? Niners will bounce back 100. New year, y'all. And the Panthers fan.
Ooh.
What do y'all think about Leggett with Thielen out now? Xavier Leggett out now with Thielen out. Well, he'll get an opportunity. I just don't know how much he's going to get, and I don't think he'll hold down the job.
You can get him and stash him at this point just to see what happens. We even saw Jonathan Mingo get a little run. I know as a Panthers fan, you know about him. There was some talk about him last year. Maybe you could have a little mini breakout here with Thielen being down, and maybe this is the direction they want to go and get some of these younger guys, some work. So he's a stash. I'm not like picking him up and starting him, but the way Dalton's playing, you might be able to support a couple wide receivers there. So go check it out.
Yeah. I don't know.
Depends on who you're going to drop.
Yeah, exactly. Who are you going to drop for them? Joe Ortiz. Monty, Steele, Dobbins, Najee also have injured Mixon. Nothing much on waivers. Start 2, right? 2 wide receivers, AJ Amon-Ra St. Brown, Rice, Higgins, Shaheed. Thinking offering Amon-Ra St. Brown and JK for Gibbs. And Jawan Jennings need 2 running backs. So he's looking at he's got a multiple choice question here.
Yeah, it was like we got like 13 different questions here, Joe.
So waivers, waivers start 2 wide receivers. Arthur Juan Brown, Amon-Ra St. Brown, Rice, or Higgins. So, right? And then Shaheed. So you're definitely starting Rice. And Amon-Ra St. Brown.
I think we're starting 2 to the first question because he actually put a comma there. So I think it's start 2 out of Monty, Steele, Dobbins, and Najee. Because
that's the part right there. Okay.
Yeah, that makes more sense. It took me a second, but I'm there with you, Joe. I got you. So who do you want out of the which
J.K. Dobbins and Monty?
All right. For me, I'm gonna roll with Dobbins as well. And again, it's hard to do start sit on Wednesday. Even I haven't quite looked at the full schedule yet and put my rankings together. But yeah, Dobbins and Monty for sure. So I'm going to go, Monty and Dobbins. I think that's who you said too.
Yeah.
Right?
Literally, Monty's had more points than Gibbs even so far, and more touches.
Yeah. They're good. So the second part is, he has A.J. Brown, ARSB, Rice, and Higgins, and Shaheed. He's thinking of offering ARSB and J.K. For Gibbs and Jawan Jennings because he needs 2 running backs.
But you already got Monty. Why would you go after Gibbs?
Yeah.
Same team.
I wouldn't do that. You already have Monty, like you said. But I don't mind packaging those 2 guys. But I mean, he has Monty and ARSB anyway. So yeah, if you wanted to turn ARSB and like Najee into somebody else, I wouldn't mind. I wouldn't mind doing that. So yeah, send him out, test it. I'm not going after like Aaron Jones or
he's a perfect guy to go after like McCaffrey. You got the depth to be able to get that.
Possibly, Yeah, but it'd be a little. I'm still not because they're saying 6 to 8 weeks. Phil was just saying on his show, it's 6 to 8 weeks from the time he got the injection was at the soonest yesterday, and that doesn't count the 3 weeks he's already missed. So we're talking 8 weeks, three. That's 11. Like he's literally coming back 3 games before your fantasy playoffs. He could be worth it still, but I'm kind of staying away even at this point. And you know me, I'm all about buying injured guys, so that's just where I'm at.
Let's go for it.
Yeah,
He'll be
go
fine
ahead.
after the shot.
I don't know,
So
man.
we got Andrew Boyd. I have DJ Moore. Should I trade him? And if so, for who? I do need I need a running back. So he's got DJ Moore. Should he trade him? And if he can, who should he target?
Good question. Appreciate you, Andrew, for coming in. Hopefully, hit that subscribe button for us. And again, I apologize for my mic issues. I am aware, but we're battling through it here tonight. So, as far as DJ Moore, I'd like to kind of keep him. I mean, I don't think you're really going to gain much value by selling him right now. I think, as Caleb continues to develop, he will, have some good weeks there for you. We've seen it. Chicago's invested in him. They paid him this offseason. So, again, Caleb's only played a couple games. Give him some time. And I think, by the time playoffs time comes, he'll be good. You just got to make sure, of course, you make it in the playoffs. But if not, maybe you can, package DJ Moore with somebody else and maybe go try to buy low on Tyreek Hill or, someone like that. But right now, I can only really see maybe if you prefer Pittman over DJ Moore, the Pittman owner might do that. It's just kind of hard to, without packaging something else or, shooting after a different position, or you're saying actually a running back. Yeah, and it's tough to get a low producing wide receiver
You get
that
an
into a producing running back.
maybe a Ramondre Stevenson for him.
You have to package it, I think, with something to get a decent running back. You're not getting Mason, you're not getting maybe you can get J.K. Dobbins if the J.K. Dobbins owner is kind of panicking after this last game. I don't even think you could get Brian Robinson Jr. As a Brian Robinson Jr. owner, I'm not trading him for DJ Moore. So really just kind of depends.
James Conner,
Maybe James Conner. That's actually a good one. Which who's want to buy? My
trade
the buy low for me. Yeah, one of my trade targets. So so I would definitely try for something like that. So
there you go. Balin Rios, what running backs can I realistically target in a Najee London trade?
I'm the tough person to ask that personally because I'm not really the biggest Najee fan, so I'm not looking to acquire him at all. If anything, I would rather just trade you for London and some other piece. Probably would be Mike Hemner. But if you're trying to package London and Najee, I would say maybe Aaron Jones. Somewhere in that Aaron Jones range. He's kind of just one, on my mind that I'm kind of thinking of.
You get a Gibbs or anybody?
I mean, again, maybe James Conner might be one of those guys. I don't think you're getting Gibbs or even Monty. Eason Singletary, I mean, maybe Zach Moss. Maybe you can pull off Zach Moss trade for that and get another piece with Moss if you like that. But I think you're almost trading laterally with the Najee, for someone on Najee's level. I don't know if London kind of gets you to that, potential tier ahead.
You enough to next tier. Yeah, you're going to get same tier dudes, basically.
Maybe if someone's freaking out about Devon Achane, but if they drafted him, they're probably Achane Schroeder. You got to kind of keep some of these things in mind, as well. Targeting those high-end, targets, especially in a really wide receiver heavy, kind of drafting offseason. The guys that did stick with running backs and that they're still healthy at this point, they're probably not getting rid of them. So you're going to have to kind of settle from some of those other guys where you see a little more potential in the future and almost take the L on the loss, so to speak. To get that guy you want if you're not feeling comfortable with, Najee and London. Someone like that. And then, I would try to package it, of course, to get someone else too.
There you go. Get somebody back. Is Joe Kingsley, if
Rashad White actually might be a good one you can get to in full PPR.
He just thought about it here. Rashad White. If Jalen Warren is out, is it crazy to start Najee over Achane half PPR?
No.
Yeah. You don't think so?
No. I'm starting HN. If you have HN, you're not sitting him.
Yeah.
He could literally. The
Yeah.
worst thing is he goes off for 30 points and he's on your bench. Like HN's the kind of guy you understand when you drafted him. The type of guy he was. He's not get you a 15 every week. He's could be a dud, and he's literally going to win you weeks. So
Also, Jalen Warren wasn't eating into Najee touches as much this year. Anyways, he really was a non-factor. And the fact that he's out doesn't improve Najee at all. So that doesn't make it so that he's better or somehow a better start. So you definitely should start HN. He's just a whole nother tier above these guys anyways.
especially if Mostert's still out too with that chest injury. So
Yeah.
good stuff.
Would you start Donald over Hurts? Donald over Hurts? No. Even though Sam Darnold's doing well, but who's Hurts facing here? Just before we, I still would start him. I don't care who they're facing. Honestly, it's quite
Hurts doesn't have AJ Brown. He doesn't have Devonta Smith.
He'll run it. I'm not worried about that.
Kinda. I mean, he has Goddard. But yeah, I mean, didn't have a great game when he lost both those guys. Only 10.94 fantasy points and a 6-point per passing touchdown. Only had 8 carries for 25 yards against New Orleans last week when we all thought that was going to be a crazy shootout, but ended up being a weird little defensive battle. Gets Tampa Bay at Tampa this week again. Their secondary is a little banged up, so he could possibly put points out there. Darnold. Who do they play? Did you look that up?
I'll look it up right now. You did get that right.
Oh, they get Green Bay at Green Bay. If Jordan Love's back, could be a shootout there, but we always know Darnold's gonna throw. I mean, Darnold's sitting as the QB4 overall right now. So I don't know if I personally would, but like if you're looking at the numbers and took the name off the back of the jersey, I could easily see how and why you would want to start Donald over Hurts. I'm not quite there yet. Give me a couple more weeks of Darnold playing like this, and then maybe I would. But me personally, I'm sticking with Hurts. I'll have Hurts ranked higher than.
If you look at it this week, is the schedule he's
yeah.
got at Green Bay, but then he faces the Jets, comes back off a week, and faces Detroit. 2 of the games you don't want to start him anyways, or at least not feel as comfortable as you do against Green Bay, right? And then after that, he gets the Rams, Indy, Jacksonville, Tennessee. It does get a good stretch after that. So, obviously if you have him,
Chicago will be tough.
If you do start him, Green Bay is not a bad game to start him at. I just don't. I'm a Hurts guy, so I start my Hurts. Sometimes it does hurt, but when he does play well, he definitely scores more than Darnold. Even though he's playing very well lately, as of late.
Yeah,
so.
give him all the flowers. Yeah, he's doing well.
Yeah. So Joe Kingsley, if Jalen Warren is ruled out, so we did that one, right?
Yeah.
Go back around.
I got you.
What do you guys think? Trade Mike Evans and Jawan Jennings for
Absolutely.
Henderson Jr. Yeah, if you could get that
Immediately.
Oh yeah, drop that. Yeah. You could do
Immediately.
it. Would you trade Singletary or Moss? I would definitely trade Singletary. I'm holding on to Moss right now.
They're kind of like the same tier, but I think I'd rather have Moss over Singletary, and I think that's what you're saying too. Is you'd rather have Moss over Singletary? So
Cincinnati.
Better offense. Their defense sucks right now.
Yeah.
Maybe he gets game scripted out, but we've seen, they're still going to run them. So yeah, I feel comfortable with what I've seen.
Yeah. Aaron Ruggles.
Oh yeah.
Adam
Ruggles. Yeah.
Shoot, I didn't read that right. I'm getting tired. Adam Ruggles. What's up, man? Sorry about that. We got to trade Jawan Jennings for Jameson Williams. Yes, if you can do it, get some JMO.
Agreed. Yeah. Go ahead.
Because Jawan Jennings is not going to last that long. He's like a princess losing the shoe right here. Perry W. I just traded Hill, Pittman, Jennings for Justin Jefferson, Brian Robinson, needed running back depth, and was happy I got a wide receiver 1 for Hill. So we traded Tyreek Hill, Pittman, and Jennings for Justin Jefferson and Brian Robinson. That's a win.
Well done.
Yeah, that's a win.
I would say, like Joe earlier was saying, he went into that trade saying, "Let me fleece you," and he did.
Yeah. Not doing so well. Jawan Jennings is a shiny new penny that's going to get rusty, and Hill's got in a bad situation without Tua.
Yeah,
and
because Jennings literally is going to be nothing unless Debo and whoever keep getting hurt. Pittman we already have as a sell, and then like Tyreek Hill, I think when healthy, you could barely trade for Jefferson in the way Brian Robinson's playing right now. So yeah,
Yeah.
you nailed that pair.
Justin
Well
on Sam Darnold is doing good. So we were always wondering, how it was going to work out. I think it worked out better for him that he got Darnold now.
done.
I traded away Ferguson for Kelsey. If you
I
could,
mean, that's what we're
Why
talking
not?
about. Although Ferguson is like right above that line that I sell any of these guys for these guys. Like Ferguson is like that last guy
He's the breaker.
on
He's
that
the
line.
line breaker, right?
So I mean, you're
Bubble
still
boy.
technically trading up, but like I still feel a little more comfortable with Ferguson than Kelsey right now. Kelsey's just in this weird little, kind of spot. He's not, who he used to be. Obviously, Mahomes is throwing the ball around. They're still winning. You would hope to think that he gets involved more, but I can't say that you can, but I can tell you Dak's throwing the CD in Ferguson every game. There is nobody else, and he loves Ferguson. He just loves the tight end routes in that offense. So we even saw Shoemaker having a nice PPR game.
Yeah,
when
he had a couple.
Ferguson missed. So Shoemaker. So yeah, again, that's why he's that like last guy that I feel comfortable with. Just basically starting every week that he's healthy. So, but still, well done. I mean, kudos. Like you're definitely traded up. Let's hope it works.
99 World comes up here. I traded David Montgomery for Jalen Hurts and Rashad White.
I'm the biggest Monty fan that you'll see, but if you can get Jalen Hurts, whether it's in a 1 QB or 2 QB league, and a running back to still replace him, yeah, he might be on the down a little bit, but you came up on just a whole completely new asset, especially with the way quarterbacks are going down. If you didn't even need another quarterback, or you could sell one of them off and just keep trading that up and maybe trade Hurts and Rashad White for a better running back.
Especially where you drafted David Montgomery at compared to where Jalen Hurts is going. And Rashad White was even going above David Montgomery. So
exactly,
you definitely improved.
For sure.
So yeah,
well
that's
done.
Good trade. Good trade. Well done.
Hit that subscribe, man. Hopefully hit that subscribe for us. Like seeing all these new names.
Live, I think we had some coming up here.
I started a couple more.
Yeah. Did you?
I got you. I'll put them up. You read
them. So we got what's the
just checking for super chats, so I don't want to miss any super chats.
Yeah, no, for sure. Yeah, you got to stay in the comments there.
I got you.
Got to do the other part for now.
I got
what's
you.
the interest level for you guys on Kareem Hunt now that he's been activated? Shoot, they were talking about bringing him in and putting him to use because he's familiar with the offense and all that kind of stuff. I'm just worried about how long it's going to be him. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, it's kind of a three-headed monster over there, almost like now. You know what I mean? What do you think? You think you're gonna reach out for him and grab him? I mean, if you could bench him, I guess you could. That's a good hold piece.
I mean, yeah, if you don't have other lotto tickets, on your bench, I'm not trading like Emmanuel Wilson for him. I'm not giving up on, Ty Chandler. I'd rather have over Hunt right now. Of course, Zach Charbonnet. I'm keeping him even when Walker comes back. I'm still even probably keeping Tajay Spears when it comes back. I think Hunt's going to be kind of like Dalvin Cook. Everyone freaked out, started drafting him in, best ball and all this crazy stuff, and he hasn't even seen the field yet. If Kareem Hunt was that good, like people would have called him already. And again, we remember when he came in last year when Chubb got hurt. Took him a little while to get up to speed. Had a couple decent games, but kind of fell off. Later, and obviously with them knowing Chubb wasn't coming back, even Cleveland, who was very familiar with him, didn't even ask him back this year. So I think that's telling, given their state of running back, where they were. So I think he's kind of past his fantasy prime at this, or just fantasy shelf life kind of at this point. So again, if you have the empty roster spot, if there's literally nobody else out there that you feel has some, potential, then I get it because he is attached to Mahomes now, and it's where he came from, so to speak. Kind of made the full circle, trip. But I think Kansas City is good with Steele and P. Ryan, and it'll only be if one of those guys go down because obviously Pacheco's going to be out for 6 to 8 weeks or longer with that broken fibula. So I think it's just more an insurance play. I don't think it's really fantasy relevant signing.
Exactly. So Heinz Lee here, 2 running back, 2 wide receiver, 1 flex. Says I traded Dobbins for Waddle and that's Dobbins and Waddle for Mixon. Feels like a W, right?
I like that trade.
So he likes. I'm worried about Waddle, so not all enthused about it. I do like Mixon though. He has QB Mahomes, wide receivers Chase, Rice, Wilson. Waddle. Running backs are Mason, Dobbins, Javonte Williams, uh, Steele, Spears, and Dowdle. Injury
Oh,
IRs is Brooks and Keaton Mitchell. So yeah, he's got Brooks in there too.
I love adding Mixon to this team. And you only got rid of Waddle, and you still have Chase, Rice, and Wilson. You're sitting in a very nice position there.
Full PPR.
I would prefer to squeeze in Javonte Williams instead of Dobbins, but if it's Dobbins to make that happen, make it happen.
Yeah,
You probably
there
have to go Dobbins to make it happen, but yeah, try Javonte first. But
So
yeah,
what
other
you
than
really
that,
shoot for is
yeah.
Mixon, so he's been really played very well. Um,
Oh,
did we do
my
this
bad.
already? Would
No, go
y'all
ahead.
trade Garrett for Garrett Wilson and Arthur Warren Brown for HN?
No, it's Garrett Wilson or AJ Brown for Achane.
Oh shit, I could read that wrong.
It's all good. That's why I'm here.
Arthur
It's
Warren
full
Brown
PPR.
would have to be the guy to get to HN.
Man, I hate this.
You're not going to get it for Garrett Wilson.
No, it'll happen for one of those guys.
Think so?
Most likely. It's so tough because I'd rather just keep Wilson or AJ Brown. I mean, depending on who the rest of your receivers are. But if you really truly wanted Achane, who do I have rank higher like rest of the season? It's going to be AJ Brown. But obviously he's hurt right now. We don't know how many more games he's going to miss. So maybe you trade off AJ Brown to get Achane. But I want some type of receiver back. Give me Keon Coleman. Give me somebody that has, some potential, even a Christian Kirk. Like, give me something. Yeah, like some type of wide receiver back just to have that depth. So yeah, that's what I'd want because you're definitely both of those guys went higher than HN at that 2-3 turn. These guys were going at the 1-2 turn. So yeah.
So Tamian Barishkov?
Bashkarov.
There we go. Says
think-
JSN got dropped in a 10-man PPR. Is he a must roster?
In 10-man, I'd say no.
Yeah, I could take.
He's not a must roster and no, but he's definitely someone I wouldn't mind having on my bench. So again, it just depends on who you have, which obviously he listed his team here. Hopefully Puka's in your IR spot right now. And if anyone, I'm not holding all three of those tight ends. So if you have Puka and Hawk in your IR, I don't mind dropping likely right now for JSN. As wide receivers, AJ Brown, Evans, Zay, BTJ. I mean, I love your wide receiver room. Even without Puka, it's still,
likely's your
it's
drop.
still
Pick
nice.
him up if you feel like you want him.
Yeah,
go get him. Why not?
For sure.
Get a
For
piece.
sure.
He's better
Nice
than
team, by
likely
the way.
anyways.
Yeah, nice team, by the way. Well done.
Should I trade Mason and Rome for Marvin Harrison Jr.? People are targeting
Yep.
Marvin Harrison Jr.
Yeah.
So yeah, if you can do that.
Told you guys to buy him after week 1. So if you didn't do it then, like he's only gonna keep getting better. I'm telling you.
It's only going to get more and more.
Y'all see it.
Is what is
Yeah,
happening.
he's gonna be untouchable soon. Like if he's not already, he's been untouchable for me personally. But yeah, if you can get that done, I'd probably get it done.
So Flo comes in here saying reports are leaning Love playing. Would you start him against the Vikings or Daniel Jones against the potential shootout with Dallas? I'm starting Love. I actually just picked him up off the waiver wire. Somebody dropped him. And
Yeah,
I'm
I saw
like,
that.
I have problems with actually Anthony Richardson, so I'm gonna plug him in over Anthony Richardson if I can, if he does start. That's my plan. So
the problem is Daniel. He plays tomorrow though. So that's your
tomorrow.
issue.
So that's your dilemma. So I'm.
Hey, if your league has that auto sub feature on, they have that auto sub feature. Take advantage of that.
Way, dude, can you?
No, it works that way. Yeah.
Oh, okay. So
I mean, they have that toggle setting. There's some, we voted in ours, and apparently the vote went through where people wanted to allow that. So as long as you designate Daniel Jones as your substitute, if Love ends up being inactive, it'll automatically put Daniel Jones in there, even though he already played on Thursday. So
see, there you go.
That's how that feature works. So hopefully that feature is on for you.
Then you're like golden. Then you don't have to worry about it, right?
Then you don't have to worry, which is why I don't like not having that toggle on. But
I think that
I'm a fair commissioner. I went with the majority. Yeah. So be it. And you were the one who actually made it go the other way. You were the one who voted for it to be that way.
Yes, I was the last
You were
vote.
the last one. It was like
Yeah,
literally,
why-
if you would have went
why
on my
not?
side, it would have been tied, and then I would have got the decision, and I would have said no as the commissioner. I would have been the tiebreaker.
This is the exact situation why you want to be able to do that. You know what I mean?
No
Because
way.
the guy
That's
puts on
fantasy
Thursday.
football. This is fantasy football.
Well,
This is
yeah.
why shows like ours exist, because
Well, that's
we
the whole point. Because
have to help them. If they have the auto sub feature,
that's
then
all the more reason it makes it fantasy football.
we're
'cause
out
you
of
have
business.
You have a feature that does that. You have a feature that does that. You can't.
Nah,
do that
you
in
got to
real
make
life
that
football.
decision. You got to make that decision, man. So to me, unless you have like Willis as a backup to play him in case Love is not active, or just someone to stick in there that's playing at the same time as Love, then you're almost forced to go Daniel Jones if you don't have that feature. So anyway,
Much as saying thoughts on
good luck.
Moss rest of the
Good
season.
luck on that one.
Yeah, good luck. I'm starting left. I would go for left. Just take the
Take your
chance.
chance. All right. So thoughts on
Moss
Moss?
rest of the season. I like it.
I mean, I have him as like a low end RB2, kind of top 18 to 24 type guy. Probably weekly is where I'll have him ranked, as long as he's healthy. And that's really been his only knock is, that he's most likely going to miss time. But we'll see. Again, anyone can get hurt on any play. So
I think Balin asked this twice. It's on here twice. Some of these questions are on here twice. Not sure why.
Oh yeah, some of the new guys they might, and that's why I said we have to keep repeating it throughout the show to just drop your questions and we'll get to them because they might think we're kind of pulling up
Not
some
ignoring
comments.
you,
But yeah,
we're gonna get to you.
Yeah, we'll always get it.
running backs can I target with Najee and London packaged together?
we already
Not
answered
much.
that.
I think we already answered that, right? Not much. Yeah, you want to bring me up to speed here? I think we're good, right?
Oh, we're here with Chandler Castantino.
Constantino.
There you go.
Yeah.
Chandler Constantino. He's been here before, so welcome back.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, go ahead.
I have the number one waiver claim, and someone dropped White for Bucky. Is it worth using the claim on him, or just wait out and hope for a better position potential? Lee.
If it's full PPR, I think still Rashad White still has value. Like he never really had to run the ball to be valuable. Like that was just a little bit extra. Like he makes his money on 7 catches and 7 targets, or was it 6 for 6, 7 for 7 for 75 yards? Like that's what you're looking
yardage.
for. Yeah, in full PPR leagues. So to me, he's worth a number one waiver claim because where else are you going to find a startable, running back without an injury? Like I think you just you can't just leave him there. He may not be your league winner, and maybe you miss out on someone later on down the road. But again, this guy was like a 4th or 5th round pick. Even if you were redrafting today, like he's not going past like round 7 or 8 at the worst, compared to what's out there and all the injuries. So to me, he's worth a number one claim spot. But again, this is why I also like to do Fab instead of waiver claims. So tell your commissioner to switch over to Fab. I keep trying to tell my commissioner to switch over to Fab, but you don't want to. You don't want to.
The wrong way. See, that's how you play.
You don't want to.
Garrett Wilson and Ramondre for A-Chan and Tank Dell. Full PPR, which side wins? I think the Garrett Wilson, Ramondre Stevenson side wins for full PPR. Just because Tank doesn't have all the targets yet.
Yeah. This is his follow-up question. Remember, we told him to add another wide receiver and maybe make a little package for it.
Yeah.
I think it's a fair trade. Like that's why it's hard to answer. Like I could see both sides.
I think Garrett Wilson and Ramondre.
Because Garrett Wilson was drafted ahead of H-An, and I still think a higher asset than H-An at the moment. And Tank Dell was drafted ahead of Mondre. Mondre might be a little more valuable right now with how he's played, but we've seen, what happened on Thursday. I think Thursday games are a little fluky. Just kind of filibustering here to get to an eventual decision.
It's just to make it up in mind here.
Give me H-An and Dell.
3-2.
I'll take H-An and Dell. Go ahead.
There you go.
It's tough though, man. It's tough either way. But make that trade. He just wants some reassurance to get that trade done. I know you like H-An, man. Go get him. Go get your guy. It's fantasy football.
So we're gonna go with Augusto K here. I don't want to bastardize your last name. My RBs are Hall, Etienne, Ford. My wide receivers are London, Rice, Neighbors, Godwin, and Godwin. Okay, and tight ends are Bowers and Goddard. I didn't want Etienne, and the team that wants him has Debo, St. Brown, and Gibbs. Who do I go for? So he doesn't want Etienne. Can he get? I don't think he could get St. Brown, but he could definitely get Debo or even Gibbs. I mean, they might trade straight across. Not sure if you could get Gibbs though with the Etienne.
I mean, I would if I'm going to put it in order of who I'm trying for, it'd be Brown, Gibbs, and then Debo.
But who can he actually get though?
That's not up to us. We're not the other team. So he just asked who should I go for. That's the order
So
of guys.
shoot for Brown. If he doesn't say Brown, ask for Gibbs. And if he doesn't say Gibbs, you only put Debo because that's what he's probably going to be willing to trade for Etienne.
And the biggest piece is he doesn't care necessarily, like he doesn't want Etienne.
So it doesn't bother you who you end up
so
with?
it doesn't bother him, so to speak. Like he wants to turn that asset. So to me, if you can flip that into Brown, of course, Gibbs, or even Debo, I still think that's a come up if it's in the right level of player that you have. You even with them not playing well, and even Etienne not playing well, I still think he's in that range of player.
So we got Flo here who's like, Yahoo doesn't have that feature. No, it's new for Sleeper. So yeah,
come over to Sleeper, my guy.
Come on, don't have it. I like Yahoo.
They don't even pay us for that.
They're both good. What should you what should I give plus Etienne for them? So we were just talking about that.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, I would definitely add to Etienne if you needed to get Brown. So maybe you give him like another wide receiver. Like for me,
Godwin.
It's a little too high. Like I'm shooting for someone a little lower than that. Like JSN. Like maybe JSN.
You don't have JSN though. You see his team.
Oh, he already told us his team.
Yeah, it's right here.
That's right. I forgot. So he has Ford, who's wide receiver,
and Goddard. Maybe to package it with Goddard.
You get Goddard. Now. Yeah, sell Goddard high.
Etienne, go for St. Brown.
For sure. Yeah, that's what I would try. He has
Gibbs at that point.
For sure. And yeah, he has Rice, Neighbors, Godwin. I mean, that's in London. I like that. You should put that in order of Neighbors, Rice, Godwin, London. that's the ranking I have of those guys. And yeah, I mean, if you can go Goddard first, if you did have to add a one of those wide receivers, I would say London. I'd still do London and Etienne for Amon-Ra St. Brown. But again, try to get another piece too.
We'll keep it moving. Preston L here. Trade Pollard for Mike Evans, 12-man PPR. He's got running backs of JT, James Cook, Etienne, wide receivers of Debo, Higgins, Jaden Reed, and Pickens. So you said trade Pollard for Mike Evans.
Yep.
So yeah, I would do that.
Yep.
That's a good trade. Go get Absolutely. Mike Evans for sure. That's definitely a come up.
For sure. Let us know if it happens, and Preston, hit that subscribe button for us, man.
He said, am I wrong for trade Mason for Gibbs?
No. If you got that done, redraft PPR, yeah, get that done. I mean, Mason's going to be decent, but like Gibbs, and especially in full PPR, like Mason's not catching passes. Yeah. So like, if Monty were to get hurt and he gets the Monty work plus his own work, like he's going to get more than like if he was in Mason's position right now, like he'd be like literally the RB1 right now. So I mean, like maybe top 3 behind Brees. And
you said he's moving to a fab next year. Been trying to for like 4 years.
There you go, my guy. There you go. For sure.
Yeah, Anthony likes that. I ain't doing it. Or Zach Moss. Zach Moss.
Yeah, I know you're a Moss guy.
I like both of these guys, honestly. I just think
Moss has no competition.
He had to do.
Yeah, he has no competition. Moss might face some negative game scripts. He's on a better offense though. Overall, it's tough. It's really close. I think I'll go Moss. I'm just, I'm worried about Chase Brown. I'm worried about Chase Brown, but
I'll go around. Yeah, he's earned his spot, dude. He solidified his spot. HN's a better fantasy asset than Wilson, in my opinion. So he's Thomas. What up, guys? 12 team, 2 flex is Ridley, Christian Watson, a just offer for Debo. No.
If I had Debo and you sent me Ridley and Christian Watson, I'd keep Christian Watson, try to counter for someone not Ridley, just because I'm not really a Ridley guy. But if you're trying to move Ridley, I don't mind sending that, especially with him hurt right now. You actually might have a chance of getting that done, especially if the owner's like 1-2 or 0-3. If they're 2-1, they may wait it out with Debo. I don't know if it's quite enough. You would need Christian Watson, to have Love back and have a good game and really have a good game kind of in the same week. And then maybe you can turn him. But if you can get that done, I definitely don't think it's disrespectful. But like we said in our trade tips and philosophies, send that trade and just say, hey, look, I'm interested in Debo. Are you interested in these guys? Like, let's work something out and kind of see how that goes.
And Brandon Rios saying is Gibbs and Amon-Ra are counterintuitive, being that they are the same team and they take away from each other.
Yeah, it lowers the volatility, or because you're going to get the majority of the rushing and passing work, but if they're not, on, the correlation there's, we talked about that all offseason with best ball and the wide receiver running back stack. But yeah, we agree, Bailey. I don't like personally. I'd literally rather have like Puka and Cup versus a running back wide receiver combo.
There you go. Package to 10 in London for Gibbs.
Yeah, I would. I think that's exactly what I said on the other one too. So he might have been answering him. So
just traded Zay Flowers for DJ Moore and JSN. Thoughts?
Oh, I would have. I just talked. Flowers is my buy right now. He's my buy low. So I think this guy might have buy low on you, Pro. But I mean, if you're happy with it, you get some wide receiver depth. If you're not feeling Zay Flowers, I mean, I think you got decent pieces in return.
Yeah,
just me personally. Yeah, and you opened up a roster spot to pick someone else, especially with bye weeks coming up. So there is value in that. So I think it's an even trade. I don't think you got fleeced, and I don't think you fleeced him or her. I just think it's a fair trade. I like that trade, especially if you need some wide, if they needed some wide receiver depth or you needed some wide receiver depth.
So we got Thomas coming up, 12 team, 2 wide receiver, 2 flex, JDS, Rice, Evans, Kyron, Mason, Achan, McBride, Achan Mooney. I don't know. You guess you put Achan right.
You put Achan twice. That's what let's do.
Mooney. Yeah. And the bench is Brees Allen,
Braylon Allen.
That's right.
Christian Watson.
Coleman, Ridley, Yoshi.
Yeah.
And IR's Hawkinson, 2-for-1 thoughts. Just trades Jacobs for Evans.
Just traded Jacobs for Evans. I hate my phone autocorrects that for me too. I'm like, traded is an actual word, and I use it a lot. Why does it keep saying trades?
I know what I meant to type, right?
Yeah, and when I type trades, it never autocorrects to traded. So like, I don't get it. We like Jacobs for Evans. I like that. I think that was nice to come up. Who was his running backs again? He has Jordan Mason, Achan, and Kyron. So I really like that trade, getting rid of Jacobs, because you still have that wide receiver or that running back depth, obviously picking up Mason and what we've heard with CMC. So I think you have a nice team there. I mean, I try to still move. Like if you can package Ridley,
trying to get rid of Ridley somehow. He lost.
That's literally what I literally was just saying that. So yeah, if you can package Ridley, that's the next guy. I'm trying to move. So yeah, you're getting a little down there, but yeah, if you can package like Ridley and Coleman or Ridley and Mooney, for just someone else, lotto ticket type guy, maybe Brian Thomas Jr. I would trade Mooney and Ridley for Brian Thomas Jr. and maybe some other random piece, or just 2-for-1. Just me personally, like you might lose the trade on a trade calculator, but as far as the potential, I just would rather have those guys.
There you go.
Although I don't know how much better T-Law's playing than Will Levis at the moment.
Yeah, exactly. T-Law's going to be out of the person. They just paid him too much, and they won't do it. Should I trade away Ferguson for Kelsey and KC? If you can get Kelsey, I think we were talking about this earlier. It's literally the same dudes, right? Ferguson and Kelsey, we were talking about the tiers and all that.
He accidentally, here's the full question. He put it a couple things later. So should I trade away Ferguson for Kelsey and hope he is not washed up? So that's what we were kind of talking about earlier. I think someone made a similar trade, or even this exact trade.
You just got to try it, man. Because Kelsey does get hot later on. And, last year it took literally towards the playoff time. But, I mean,
to me, I'm sticking with the same answer. Ferguson's still not hurting me. So if you haven't made this trade already, I'm down to just stick with Ferguson. If I am trading up for any tight end right now, it's going to be Trey McBride. Like he's the one that I feel, is going to be good, because again, he's second behind Marvin Harrison Jr. He does have the concussion right now, so maybe you can take advantage of that, make it happen. You might have to add, Ferguson in another little piece to make it happen, but I'd be willing to add that extra piece to trade up to McBride. I just think his potential there with Kyler, I like what I've seen. So I'd go get McBride, but not personally.
Speaking of
Kelsey at
which,
the moment.
Andre comes in. Who do y'all like more, PPR, Olave, or MHJ?
MHJ Marvin all day
Jr.
for me.
Marvin Harrison Jr. Hands down. We're moving on.
Yep. Next to the. Yep, go ahead. It's like right when we get close to being to the end, we keep being like, we got 10 more viewers. We got 10 more viewers, and we got like 15 more questions. Keep them coming, guys. We love it.
Trying to get out of here.
But we'll stay for super chats for sure. Send them on.
Flowers or Dobbins or Jacobs and Debo?
Give me Flowers and. I'll go Jacobs. I'll go Jacobs and Debo.
I'll go Flowers.
If you're like 3-0, 2-1, if you're 0-3 or 1-2, then I want the Flowers and Dobbins side. You can't afford to lose anymore.
Side. Yeah.
Go ahead. Keep it going.
What do I do with Rashad White?
Oh, did we miss the Saquon trade? Did you skip?
Oh, we went over that earlier. We already said
did?
that it was a good trade. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Go ahead.
Yeah, no, that's where we're at here.
What do you do with Rashad White?
Yeah, what do you do with
You probably got to start him unless you have someone better like Mason or, someone off the bench that's been doing better for you. If not, I'm going to hold. Maybe you can put him in a package to sell if you're not feeling him. But I still think he has some standalone flex value and even RB2 value with the state of running back in a full PPR league. Even half. I'm okay. I'm not panicking.
That's what it is. He's not panicking. I'm not panicking. I'm holding. I think DJ Moore and Zay Flowers are really close. He sends updates. I think that's talking to that one earlier.
Mm-hmm.
And so he said, let's see.
Here he goes.
So he
says, yeah, go ahead.
So keep Christian Watson and trade Ridley and Coleman or Mooney. I have high hopes for Coleman. I like Mooney. Keon Coleman just barely got his first touchdown. And we kind of like Watson, especially now that Jordan Love's coming back. So he's trying to move on Ridley and Coleman
or Mooney. I'd prefer Ridley and Mooney to move on from. I'm like you. I have high hopes for Coleman as well. He's a rookie, still taking time. Obviously, something happened where he got benched in the first quarter. 6'4".
Yeah, just more later season stuff right there.
A ton of target opportunity there. We've seen Josh Allen be able to throw. We've seen him run. Like, I want a piece of that offense. So, yeah, give me Coleman. I'd rather keep him and see what he turns into. Zeus
comes in here and says, should I trade Garrett Wilson for MHJ? Yeah, go get MHJ right now.
Yep.
Go get it. Do it quick. Lucas Basuk. How does Rashid, Kirk, and Scary Terry for Mike Evans sound? Wow, sounds like you're giving quite a bit out.
It's a little much. Like, I'd want to take out one of those pieces just because, if you're selling 3 pieces for like Jamar Chase or Jefferson or something like that, then cool. I don't think Mike Evans quite at that level. I don't mind.
Rashid and Kirk.
Scary Terry's the one that I would want. So yeah, Terry and Rashid.
Have to be Terry.
Yeah, Terry and one of those other guys for Evans is where I'd go. I don't know. Is the third guy
Rashid and Kirk? Why not? And then see if he doesn't settle for that, and if not, then you'd have to take in Terry and one of those guys for Evans.
I don't think I would.
You don't have to set all
3
three
pieces.
Yeah, you don't have to set all 3. You don't need 2.
I'd rather hold with those guys and play that out than trade up to Evans there.
So Stay Blessed says, is it a good thing to have both Ferguson and Kelsey, or should I trade one for or the other? I think it's a good thing to have both of them because you can steadily start Ferguson right now until Kelsey actually starts producing some good games, then you can start Kelsey on a regular. Or unless you need some pieces, then you have Kelsey to trade off, hopefully, and then you still end up with Ferguson that's getting targets and targets and targets. And he already had his little injury or whatever, so hopefully that's out of the way and gone for the rest of the season, and he could just be a steady Eddie guy for you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm shopping him. I'm not like trying to solo or anything, but I'd shop and see what you can get if you can turn one of him into a nice wide receiver or running back for sure.
Yeah. Is trade Olave for Henry PPR? Ooh, I'm not sure if you could get Olave for Henry at PPR.
I never say people what they may or may not be able to get. But if this was an offer he has, if you're really hurting for running back, I would. If not, I'm just worried. Olave is probably your number 1 pick, so it just depends on who you picked up. And like, there hasn't been like crazy breakout wide receivers, whereas there's guys like Mason and J.K. Dobbins who were drafted late that kind of give you that flexibility. So again, it would really depend on your your roster construction there.
Yeah. And I'm in the same boat that with that Kelsey situation that was offered Mahomes and Kelsey for Stroud and Goddard. Yeah, keep Mahomes and Kelsey.
No, he was offered Mahomes and Kelsey for his Stroud and Goddard. So I would take Mahomes and Kelsey for sure.
Go get it.
Yeah, Kelsey I think is an upgrade over Goddard, and Mahomes is an upgrade over Stroud to me.
For sure.
So yeah, I would take that all day. Take that all day.
As a text message, you take Mahomes and Kelsey over Stroud and Goddard, even as Texas. So even he said
he
it.
was just answering it. Yeah.
Should I do Malik Neighbors and Najigba for Jefferson?
Ooh, you're testing me on my Neighbors because he was one of my sell highs last week after seeing him actually put up these numbers and being the wide receiver 1 overall. Ooh, my whole thing is Neighbors is the wide receiver 1 overall right now. So why do you have to add anything to get Jefferson at the moment? You shouldn't have to add JSN. If he's a throw-in piece, I guess. If you just prefer Jefferson, why not? But I mean, I kind of have to say Malik Neighbors is starting to look a little QB proof. I didn't think anybody would be QB proof with Daniel Jones as the QB. Mr. Kennett, Mr's thrown more touchdowns to the other team than his own team. I think that's slightly changed now with Neighbors catching his touchdowns. But
it's finally evening out.
Yeah. So again, I don't know, man.
But I mean, the thing is like as you mentioned, Malik Neighbors is the number 1 right now. Can he keep it up? That's the question. I feel like you probably like Jefferson more, but I wouldn't offer both of those guys to get Jefferson. You should be able to trade him straight across for Neighbors if that's the case.
Yeah, if you're just not feeling Neighbors because of Daniel Jones like me, if you just went Jefferson for Neighbors straight up, I'd probably do it. I hate adding another piece in there, but yeah, if he's just kind of a throw-in piece and you still have depth and you want to make it happen, it's not the end of the world.
Yeah.
But you should be able to get Neighbors straight up or get JJ straight up.
Should I trade McCaffrey while I can get something? Have Jordan Mason. I would.
You're in the perfect spot. You have Mason. That's when you sit on CMC and see if he does come back and be something. So
I would trade him.
Yeah. So you're trade him. I'm hold when you have Mason. Again, I would shop him, but if you can get a nice piece, then for sure. But I'm not just like giving him away.
I'm not saying giving
Zach
away.
Charbonnet for him, but
I'm not saying give him away, but I think you would be open. I mean, you were just
like you're like sell.
You literally just said the guy's going to come back for maybe 3 games in the season
for your fantasy playoffs.
Yeah, okay.
That's what I'm saying. Like you have Mason, so you're not hurting.
Season, man. I don't know.
If he's sitting in your IR spot,
lost all trust.
Remember, you just said it the other show. You just said it last show. Like he was hurt, came back for a game, scored 25, got hurt, missed 2-3 more games, came back for 2 games, scored 25, 30, and then got hurt again. So like, but when he's playing, what do we say? If he's healthy and he's playing, he's going to put up fantasy points.
I just figured most likely be a top play a couple games and then be out again. That's the problem with him. He'll get him a couple games right before he goes into the playoffs, then he'll get hurt during the playoffs.
And then it's gone. But then you still have Mason. So you have no
ship because you had to start him.
No, you're not. If he got hurt before your playoffs, anyway, we're just going to we'll argue about that offline.
PPR 1+ Mooney. I gotta get the C weight. The Christian Watson. That just throws me over every time, man. Christian Watson, Ridley, Coleman, Yoshi, leaning Christian Watson if Left plays.
Agreed.
I would. Yes, definitely. Start Christian Watson. Zeus, say, man, I appreciate you guys coming up and answer all the questions. Hope you super chat later this week.
Hey, we appreciate that, man.
Thank
you. Just throw us a subscribe. I mean, that helps too, but we'll definitely take a super chat. But yeah, man, we're here for the people, man. We wouldn't be here without you guys, so we want to answer your questions. We're not too big for you guys, man. We want to get to everybody. Tell your friends.
We're just here for the peoples, man. We're just here for the peoples. Andre, is Olave or MHJ straight up for chance that works, or do I need to add Ridley?
I would for sure add Ridley to get MHJ. I mean, you could try. I don't think he's going to try straight up, but I would just come out of the gate and offer Ridley and Olave for MHJ. Yeah, some people might disagree with me, but I'm an MHJ fan.
He's trying to get an MHJ fast before that Washington game.
Yep.
He's going to go insane.
Didn't. Oh yeah, because they play Washington this week.
This week.
No. They just played them, didn't they? No. Washington played Jamar Chase. That's why he was my wide receiver 1. So yes, MHJ gets Washington this week. That's right. And I agree. He'll probably be like my at least a top 3 wide receiver when I do my rankings. Go ahead. Move on.
I'm just trying to find some stuff.
Oh, are we finally done? Did we get to the end?
What's
up, Warrior? What's up, man? All right, go ahead.
What up?
I just want to say
what's up, man? Yeah.
Yeah.
Lucas Basut here. Last one. Somebody wants to do a Derrick Henry, David Montgomery, Garrett Wilson, Devontae Adams, and Kincaid for Brees Hall and Justin Jefferson. What? They're sending you a boatload.
I mean, that's what it's going to cost. I mean, if your team is like in shambles, but I mean, obviously your first 2 picks sound like they were probably Hall and Jefferson, or you made, some trades already and acquired these 2 guys. So I'm sticking with the Hall and Jefferson side. I mean, unless you really, really need to part out your team. But yeah, I'm kind of here with Balin saying, what the? That's one of those, like, that's just too much. Like, might as well just switch. I'll take your phrase. Might as well just switch teams at that point.
Yeah, exactly. What are you guys doing there? Just swapping guys here? No.
Yeah.
It's up to you guys. I mean, I would.
What's up, John? Again, hope you got all these new names, man.
David Montgomery anyway, so
for sure.
Improving a wide receiver a little bit. Like, Brees Hall's not going to make up both of those guys.
For sure. So we are going to do probably like 4 or 5 more minutes here, guys. So we'll try to get through these rapid fire. We're coming up almost at 2 hours. We've been taking already an hour worth of questions, which we love.
Like, literally.
Just hope you guys are hitting that subscribe button for us. And again, we will be back here for 4 hours on Friday doing our live Start Sit show. But again, we appreciate the trade questions, man, and we'll definitely power through these things. So again, we're going to do a hard out in like 4 minutes. The only other ones we'll probably read after that. Or after I just said, we're going to try to answer a question, but like an hour of questions is, I think we paid our dues, so to speak. We will be live again tomorrow and Friday, so you guys can come back, keep watching us. We'll be here. Hit that subscribe button.
So
Nino said, my guys. So yeah, go ahead.
John Justin got Gibbs today for Singletary, Tracy, the handcuff, and Wicks. And he sent me the offer. I couldn't say no to Gibbs for the price.
That'll probably cause an uproar in your league, and they're probably going to try to veto it. It sucks when those things happen because you're like, I'll accept it. I mean, I've literally gotten trades like that before, and I've just to not cause problems, especially for what I do in my leagues, and they know, like, they try to think, I'm trying to take advantage of somebody. So I'll actually say, like, let me give you this guy. Like, let me swap this guy. I'll give you someone better. Let me add someone in here to make it, because I don't want it to get vetoed. Yeah, but I still want the guy. So like, let me counter, and I'm going to actually add somebody in there for you and say, let's make this a little even so it doesn't get vetoed. So I've done that before. So that's just something to do, especially when you're playing with like more experienced people. It's, a little more serious, type league, higher stakes. Don't, as a commissioner, I ask all you players, don't put yourself in these kind of situations. If it's almost too good to be true, sometimes like, people might think it's collusion or, something like that, or just, it might upset people. People might leave the league. And I mean, you don't want all that over just a silly trade. So, do what I do, upgrade Wicks to, somebody else, upgrade him to somebody else, or maybe give him someone better than Singletary, unless one of those 2 guys are who he truly wanted. But, I'd kind of offer something make it a little more even, just to make sure it doesn't get vetoed or people don't, blow up the league or have issues and talk shit all year. So that's just, again, I've been playing for 20 something years. Yeah. And I play in like 19 leagues. I'm in double digit leagues. So it's like, I'm not trying to cause problems in leagues, and this isn't my one main league where I'm trying to win it. Like, I'm like, let me just give you this other guy and we'll work it out. Yeah. So anyway, go ahead.
So Nino Pena, should I be picking up Roshan or Chase Brown to stash?
Chase for me over Roshan, but both are worth stashing.
Roche is starting, isn't he? Is he going to be playing this week?
I mean, no, Swift is still there. Khalil Herbert's still in front of him, but he's getting more run. So he's the stash. He's not startable yet.
Stash them both if you can. Nico forgives, got declined. See, these guys are saying good night. Zeus subscribed, man. Appreciate y'all coming out. Good night.
Yo.
I'll have see y'all tomorrow night, man. Yeah.
For sure.
We'll be again Friday. We got 2 shows, 6 and 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time here. Doing sit starts for all the games that we can. So come watch Anthony and the guys here. Uh, take one more last question. I think we'll call this one it.
Yeah.
Would you trade DK Metcalf for Diggs and CMC?
No, I don't think I would right now. It's a decent offer, and I could see like if you're 3-0, like I would do that maybe if I was closer to like 6 or 7-0. 3-0 is not quite that position, and with what we heard about CMC, I mean it's definitely a risk and a gamble. So if you feel Diggs can keep producing what he's doing and kind of produce what DK Metcalf is going to produce, and you're just getting CMC on top, I mean I could see why you'd want to do it. But I just full disclosure, I'm really high on DK Metcalf, and I think he's like wide receiver 8 or something like that right now. So, I mean, I like him, and I just don't want to assume that CMC risk. If I drafted him and I'm dealing with it, then that's okay. I was trying to buy him early, when we thought he might have been coming back after the IR stint, but now that it's been extended, unless I have Mason, I'm kind of steering. I'm neither buying nor selling, depending on my situation. What do you think? Yeah, he's wide receiver 7 right now, full PPR. DK.
I'd move on him. I'm not trusting CMC. I don't know. I keep going back and forth on it. So, but I think that's a good offer, and that's why I would do it.
Yeah, it's decent. All right.
So he just wanted to round this out. Lastly, 12 years running this league in a 16-man league, $100 buy-in, no veto. I was surprised as you. I fear if it gets veto, I wouldn't mind. So yeah, I mean that's the kind of thing.
Oh
if you wanna
shit!
make it
He
win,
says running this league. Does that mean he's the commissioner? That's even
the
more
commissioner.
worse. When you're the
That's even
commissioner
worse,
and you
yeah.
get a trade like that, then they're like, "Oh, something's going on."
Yeah.
I've heard it all, man. I've heard it all. But good stuff, man. Hopefully it doesn't. Maybe they have like league votes or something like that.
Yeah. I don't.
But
I don't
as
have-
you know, I'm like
I
a
don't have
no
vetoes
veto
on my
commissioner.
leagues. I don't have vetoes on my league, but if it ggets outrageous and people start balking about it, then we got to kind of talk about it. You know what I mean? But other than that,
Right.
let everybody trade whoever they want. I mean, unless it's outrageous and somebody's collusion, most people know what they're doing.
Sure.
Especially in 12 years running a league, it's hopefully it's the same guys or similar guys. They know what's going on. You know what I mean? Like it's
Oh,
no big
he's
deal
not
anyway.
the commissioner. He just said he's been in it for 12 years. So
He's just been in.
Lucas said, "Wait, he wants to ask a question. I'll get to your question here."
it.
Oh, and then he asked a start sit question on our trade. So, Lucas, we do start sit on Fridays, man. We have 4 hours of Friday, and we take start sit during that whole time. But just real quick, it's going to be Cooper for me.
All right. On that note, we got to go. We got to get out of here, man.
If you got to go, you'll go. I'm going to, me, dude, I can't just not answer these questions.
I got to go.
12 man.
Sorry,
All right.
You guys have a
Peace
good night.
out, Frank. Really appreciate you, my guy. We'll see you later, man.
All
You
right.
guys will just have to deal with my terrible audio at this point. But I'll get through these last questions here. So Slapsky says 12-man PPR, 2 flex, Kyler Henry, B-Rob, as in the Washington, B-Rob Jr., CD, Nico McBride, Devonta Smith, T. Higgins. His bench is DeMarcus, Robinson, Spears, Daddle, Braylon Allen. He's currently 1-2. Does he have any advice? So Kyler Henry, B-Rob, CD, Nico, McBride, D. Smith, Higgins, DeMarcus, Spears, Daddle, Allen. I mean, honestly, you're sitting in a pretty decent position. I mean, I like those handcuffs you have with Spears, Daddle. I love Braylon Allen. He might even be flex worthy here pretty soon. You obviously waited on T. Higgins to come back. He'll be decent in that offense. Devontae Smith a little banged up right now with that concussion. But CD and Nico is nice. McBride is perfect. You have 2 solid wide receivers. You do have the stack with Kyler and McBride. And I like your bench. So, yeah, I mean, I think you're good. Maybe just not having Higgins there is maybe why you're 1-2, or just maybe ran into, some bad matchup here in the first 3 weeks. But I'd write it out, man. I don't think there's really much you can do here because, I like your team. I don't think you have really any wasted players here. If anything, like Schultz, you could drop to pick somebody else up or, package to somebody else, but he hasn't really been doing much either. I personally would just maybe turn him into a wide receiver running back that you could potentially take a chance on, or start to plan out your bye weeks that are coming up. But yeah, other than that, I mean, I think it's a solid team. It should be a playoff team, especially with Higgins back. So good stuff there. Chandler says Diggs over Metcalf. No, I have Metcalf just ranked higher personally for me rest of the season. And if you're saying start sit, I don't know, but we're talking trades. So yeah, if I was offered Metcalf for my digs, I would take that without even hesitating. So there we go. We have Kosh, Kingston. Hopefully I got that right. Hopefully you guys are hitting that subscribe button for me as well. Staying late to answer your guys' questions. Doing over an hour of just questions only. But should I trade Ken Walker for Brian Robinson Jr.? I like both of these guys. Walker dealing with that abdominal issue. Brian Robinson should have a good week this week with Austin Eckler ruled out with that concussion. As far as rest of the season goes, I think they're both kind of in a similar situation, with Charbonnet and Austin Eckler being the RB2s behind them, kind of considered the more pass catchers. I think they're kind of one and the same. Interestingly, I think points per game. Where's Walker at here? So points per game, Walker's at RB8, and Brian Robinson Jr. Is at 19. So Walker's still ahead of Brian Robinson when he plays. I just think he's on a little better offense overall. We're just maybe not sure how much Charbonnet might eat into his workload, whereas pretty much what you've seen with Brian Robinson's what you get. He's just going to be a solid RB2 for you every week. You just hope he gets in the end zone. But of course, he could get vultured. He could have had a 3-touchdown game, but instead Jaden Daniels ran 2 of those in. But he did get his chance from like the 1-inch yard line twice. Couldn't punch it in, so they give it to Jaden Daniels after. Let's just hope he starts to convert those. Joe is too dope. What's up, man? Welcome back. He says, pick one for the flex, Akers, Shaheed, Javonte, or Jawan Jennings. For me, probably going if Kittle and Debo are out. I don't know how you get away from starting Jennings again. If Kittle's back, which looks like he might have a better chance of being back over Debo, then I'd probably go Shaheed out of those guys. So I'd rank it Jennings, Shaheed, Akers, and then Javonte. All right. Andre, what's up, man? He says, is Wilton worth benching this week? Bad matchup. PS2 on him might have got a little or who they playing? See, this is why we like to do start sit on Fridays, because let me try to bring up a schedule here. When you guys, when we do this here, we kind of play the week out as we go when we research and when we do things. When you're just a player, you kind of already know who your matchups are, the next week. But as a quote unquote analyst here for the people, I kind of have my my research things set. I'm researching waivers, then I'm researching trade targets and putting all my research into that. And then after this show's done, that's when I start getting into it. So, he says it's Pat Surtain. Oh, how did I not know that? Pat Surtain Jr. It depends on who your options are. It says trying to get a crazy receiver. Who would you go for with Wilson Godwin package? Amon-Ra's off the table, owner's not moving. But yeah, you want to stay in that range. Obviously, Marvin Harrison Jr., who we've been talking about. I'd like to get someone like him. I think DK Metcalf, I would just trade, see if you can get for straight up for Wilson if you're not feeling it. Godwin, I don't mind keeping either one of these guys, honestly. But if you really are looking to trade up, Jamar Chase might have been out of your range now after he just had this big game against Washington. But if someone's maybe looking to sell high, thinking that that's not sustainable and it was just Washington, go ahead and try. You never know. So obviously try high. CeeDee Lamb might be a little buy low right now as well too. But definitely shoot high and then see where you can end up settling. He says, last question for me, who are some running backs you would trade Mason for? I kind of like Mason. He's on, one of the top rushing offenses. Obviously, you see my hat. So you see that, I'm obviously going to say kind of positive things about him. He's not a pass catcher, though. So for me, if I'm trading him, you'd want somebody with, maybe some pass catching upside. Maybe if you can turn him and someone else into someone like JT, although he just came off a big game. You want to shoot for someone like, James Cook. Maybe go get a hurt Ken Walker right now. If you want someone like that. It's just really there's not too many other guys, out there that are going to get the type of work and touchdown upside that Mason can potentially get here. So, technically Mason's ahead of Bijan right now. Obviously, try to shoot high. But like, I'm not trading him for like Connor or somebody like that. I'm not trading him for Dobbins. Like maybe Joe Mixon. You might be able to get Joe Mixon right now, considering he's hurt. If you want to try to buy him, I'm staying away from Aaron Jones. I'd rather have Mason. Um, and then everyone else I think is going to be out of the price range. So hope that helps my guy. Says he appreciate all the help. And we finally made it to the end of the chats, man. So we appreciate it, man. That was good stuff. Really appreciate you guys. Again, we'll be here on Friday taking your start sit questions as we go game by game and break down our starts and sits for each game. And then, of course, we'll have our live Q&A section after that. So just make sure you tune in, hit that subscribe button, hit that notification button so you know when we're live. And then, of course, for all those that are new here, maybe they didn't catch the beginning of the show, make sure you guys, this is our full schedule. So you can hit the pause button, kind of see, what shows we have going on, what days. And, when you know this, then you'll know, kind of what questions to ask and when, so that we can give you the best answers. But as you saw, I'm going to go through and answer as many questions as I can because we wouldn't have this channel or this show without you. So just keep tuning in to us, man. We really appreciate the support. Again, hit that subscribe button to help us grow. I will have this audio situation fixed. So I'll thank you guys for sticking it out with me with this situation. I know it sounds terrible. But yeah, hopefully you heard the advice. What's behind it is good, and I will deliver it to you a little better. So from all of us over here, man, Get Right Fantasy, again, appreciate Frank for sticking it out as long as he could with me, man. Appreciate all the other guys here. Classic Mike, Tycoon, of course, my boy Dustin, Kendall and Phil. Make sure you guys are subscribing to their channels as well. Fantasy Football Tavern, the Extra Point, the Fantasy Boardroom. The links to all the channels here on Get Right Fantasy Network are down in the description, as well as a couple extra links to some friends of the show that we feel have good content as well. So yeah, make sure you guys check all that out. Of course, support our sponsors. And of course, just come back, join us, keep watching our content. We will see you guys on Friday. But of course, make sure you check out our boy Phil Reskin tomorrow, right before Thursday Night Football. He'll take your live Q&A questions as well. So we'll do as much as we can for you guys. So with that said, I'm going to go ahead and get out of here. Oh man, you guys sucked me into it. Real quick here, 10-team redraft, PPR, Josh Allen. I hope Rio and Adam, I hope you guys are subscribed to me here, doing this right when I was about to sign off. So 10-team redraft, PPR, Josh Allen, Mason K9, Jamar Chase, Garrett Wilson, Olave, Kelsey, Flex, Godwin, Bench, Monty, Charbonnet, Brian Thomas, Ridley, Ferguson. Would you keep the team or make some trades? Money, Charbonnet, Olave, Kelsey, Godwin. I mean, I think you're sitting pretty nice, man. You're in a good spot with these guys. I mean, if you already have Chase, you have Olave, you have Wilson. Looks like you've made some trades, already. Just keep trying to trade up if you can. But I mean, I think you're in a pretty good spot. I mean, if you have some of these pieces that maybe you want to go trade and maybe package like Ferguson and Brian Thomas Jr. or maybe Charbonnet right now, depending on how the McBride team feels. I just feel like this team's a McBride away. Maybe go grab, buy loan Mark Andrews and see, how that goes. But that's the only thing I could say. So good stuff. Again, hope you hit that subscribe button for me. Adam says, should I trade Devon Achane for Jonathan Taylor? Depending on who you prefer. I personally probably prefer Jonathan Taylor. I just think, he's just a little more solid. I don't think he has the upside that Achane has, so it just depends on how you like to play fantasy. But I'm probably not trading. I'm not looking to seek out Jonathan Taylor for Achane. If I am going to go after somebody, I'll try to shoot a little higher. But for the most part, I'm probably just going to stick with Achane and ride it out. Hopefully Tua will be back and he'll be going back to his ceiling type status. So yeah. But again, most are coming back. If you want to go get the RB1 who's not sharing with anybody, go get Taylor. So again, it just depends on what you want. Sacrifice some upside for more stability, or do you want that, a weekly upside play, someone who could just literally win you a week outright. Jackson Taylor, send Jordan Mason for Montgomery and Reed in full PPR. I would do that. I think Montgomery's a nice piece. Not too much of a drop-off, or maybe even considered an upgrade over Mason. Ooh, excuse me. And you're getting Jaden Reed in the process and full PPR. I'll take it. So I like that one. Jackson said, have a good night, man. I really appreciate it. I appreciate you, man. Season, of course, man, one of our OGs. Of course, I'm going to answer your question for you. This might be the last one. Trade away Andrews and London for Adams and Kittle. I'm not an Adams fan. I'm personally holding on Andrews. If I can buy him, I'm buying. London, I think, is starting to show some promise as he and Kirk Cousins build some chemistry up there. I like what I see. Kittle should be decent. But, with Debo and everyone coming back eventually, if Andrews plays better, then, I still think I prefer the Andrews and London side. But, if you like Adams and Kittle, go get it. I don't think it's a bad trade. It just my preferred players would be Andrews and London. And John says, appreciate the talk. Have a good night, man. I appreciate it too. And again, sorry I sound like Robot Rasta here tonight. I will get that fixed hopefully here by Friday. So again, I appreciate you guys. Won't give a long outro this time before more questions pop up. So we'll see you guys here. Make sure you have those notifications turned on. Phil will be here live on Thursday, tomorrow, right before Thursday Night Football. And we'll all be back with you here Friday for part 1 and part 2 of Start Sit. So have a good night, and we'll see you then.
Wanted to write fantasy is the play. Marking nothing, but I tune in every Friday. Strategies provided, I will lock in every way. So go and roll your sleeves.